Пошли. Все вместе. Какие ваши доказательства?
They want you to comply.
Cancel culture is about canceling it.
Cocainum.
Up yours. Woke moralist.
This is systematic bullying that's happening.
Up yours.
And they believe that they can then
Woke
shut us
moralist.
up.
Not only can you take a load, you can take the ultimate load, and even better than that you find your true calling and destiny in your willingness to take the ultimate load.
They seem animalistic is what I mean.
No, they're worse than animals. Up yours.
The woke mob, they ruin everything.
They stopped
Woke
Ben
moralist.
Shapiro from going to events and speaking. They stopped Ann Coulter from doing it.
I will never surrender even a single inch of ground to a pitchfork mob.
You never cave to the mob.
We will never bow to the mob. Ever. No matter what.
Have it your way, buddy.
You sons of bitches.
I did everything right and they indicted me.
Do you see the final expression of cancel culture in terrorist groups like?
We'll see who cancels who.
Hey.
Hi. Sorry we're
What's
late,
up?
guys. We were shit talking Progressive Voice before we started, and his wacky headlines. Progressive Voice. I guess he's not watching right now. He's live streaming, but
we got to get him to jump on.
Yeah, we got to get him on sometime. He's hilarious.
Yeah.
Kamala surges in the polls.
Every headline.
Rebecca will be here later, by the way, everyone.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. And tonight, I guess we'll get clips while it's happening. The CNN interview with Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. I've seen a couple of clips from it already. One is fine. The other one is I don't really care for the answer, but she presents it well. Like she appears more confident in this interview than I've seen her in past interviews, which I guess is the real issue in the past.
Are you gonna play it for us? Let's see.
Sure.
Let's see. Confident Kamala.
Let's start with the one I don't like.
I'm sure Trump will be not using that one. Confident Kamala.
Confident Kamala. All right, here it is.
Had a lot of Republican speakers.
By the way, this fucking question, I fucking hate this question, but anyways, here it is.
Had a lot of Republican speakers at the convention. Will you appoint a Republican to your cabinet?
Yes, I would.
Anyone in mind?
I would. No one in particular in mind. We got 68 days to go with this election, so I'm not putting the cart before the horse, but I would. I think it's really important. I have spent my career inviting diversity of opinion. I think it's important to have people at the table, and when some of the most important decisions are being made, that have different views, different experiences. And I think it would be to the benefit of the American public to have a member of my cabinet who was a Republican.
Had a lot of.
I hope she's lying because I don't like that.
Of course, this is the game I have to play. But I hate the question more than the answer. To be honest with you, they would never. And I retweeted someone who said this, but this is like they would never ask Donald Trump this question. Yeah, like they wouldn't even think about asking him the question, let alone like would he answer this way. But they wouldn't even think about it. Yet here is it's expected Democrats. Oh, we have to. Why do Democrats have to capitulate to a fucking fascist party? Well, why does that make any sense at all?
The messaging's really fucked up. If on one end you're like, hey, by the way, this party is moving towards far right extremism, Trump is Hitler too, all this kind of stuff, and at the same time, you're like everything the party is doing right now is fundamentally pretty profoundly like fucked up, going after like women's reproductive health, going after LGBTQ plus people, that kind of stuff. The whole like I feel more people get alienated from the reach across the aisle takes now, or the centrist takes, or the we can.
I think that answer hurts her more than it helps her, to be honest.
Yeah.
No, I don't think people really care.
What voter base is like, oh, I wasn't gonna vote for Kamala, but now that she said she may appoint a Republican, well, I might. Whereas this suppresses like the left vote is what this does.
There are
shit
weirdos out there, man. There are weirdos out there.
You don't want the weird vote. JD Vance has that cornered already.
Don't think there are weirdos that are like,
vote for Kamala.
JD Vance has that on lockdown. He's got the weird vote. All right.
If I was her, a great answer to that question would have been like, would you appoint a Republican to your cabinet? She should have looked at it and went, now, why the fuck would I do that? That would have been great.
That would serve me. I don't think that'd be the best way to answer it. I would love that answer. But like, maybe the answer by first asking, would you ask Donald Trump this question? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck kind of question is this?
She should have just said,
so
Dana,
dumb.
do you think you just fell out of a fucking coconut tree? Something like that would have been fine. It would have reignited the magic. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like if she acknowledges the meme, then the meme dies. She has to let it kind of. They've done a good job so far, I think, sort of just letting that do its own thing and not having to engage in it. But here is the other clip. This one is not as bad.
Generally speaking, how should voters look at some of the changes that you've made, that you've explained some of here in your policy? Is it because you have more experience now and you've learned more about the information? Is it because you were running for president in a Democratic primary? And should they feel comfortable and confident that what you're saying now is going to be your policy moving forward?
Dana, I think the most important and most significant aspect of my policy perspective and decisions is my values have not changed. You mentioned the Green New Deal. I have always believed, and I have worked on it, that the climate crisis is real, that it is an urgent matter to which we should apply metrics that include holding ourselves to deadlines around time. We did that with the Inflation Reduction Act. We have set goals for the United States of America and by extension the globe around when we should meet certain standards for reduction of greenhouse gas emissions. As an example, that value has not changed. My value around what we need to do to secure our border, that value has not changed. I spent 2 terms as the Attorney General of California.
It has changed.
It's better than the other answer. This one's fine. This one's better to me because she actually brings up the Green New Deal and mentions how she's not shit talking left wing policy so she's simply saying how that's still her value. It's just a matter of, I guess, how she wants to get there or discuss it. But
I feel like it's the best answer she can give because the truth is that she did change. Like in 2019, she said the border wall was un-American, and then she just pledged millions of dollars to fund the border wall. So she did change. So trying to frame that as her not capitulating, I think, is wise, but it's not very convincing. But I don't think that the normies are going to pick up on that. I think they'll think this is a good answer.
Prosecuting transnational criminal organizations, violations of American laws regarding the illegal passage of guns, drugs, and human beings across our border. My values have not changed.
She's more confident than usual.
Yeah. I don't understand.
For me, that's what stands out. Is she seems more confident in her responses than past interviews. But
I think so too.
I'm curious to see.
Republicans were making it seem like she's incompetent and can't do interviews, and she only had to do this interview with Tim Walz to kind of hold her hand. But like, they always do a joint interview when you announce your running mate. There's always a joint interview, so there's nothing like out of the norm with this.
I should have saved the image, but there's someone on Twitter put like all of it's like the past, I don't know, like 20, 30 years of like campaigns showing a president and their VP choice doing interviews together. It's like every single one of them have done exactly this thing. This is not like unprecedented. This is, for me, this is
JD
whatever.
Vance,
who cares?
Donald Trump, they both were interviewed by Justin
Yeah,
Bieber.
they did it too.
Happened.
What the hell?
That happened.
But yet Meghan McCain is like, and I see screenshots because she has to be blocked, but I still see her tweets, Meghan. I know she's watching, where she's like, this is so insulting to women that she has to have a man right there to guide her. It's like, I'm sorry, but do you get that vibe from her doing a joint interview with her running mate? Is that seriously the takeaway here? Like, that seems really
And then
unserious.
somebody replied showing her father, John McCain, with Sarah Palin doing a joint interview. Meghan McCain is she's so cooked.
Oh, she's the worst. She's the absolute worst.
She's only gotten
just a
worse
silly
with leaving The
person.
View, if it was possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I hate that she's not on The View, honestly, because now I can't do videos shit talking her that get a lot of views. That was actually fun. You don't know what you got until it's gone, right?
So I think that's all we have for on that interview. So the interview I mean, I don't know when the interview is. Don't check your local listings and stay here. But
we have exclusive access.
I honestly cannot. I would be hard pressed to believe there's a leftist mafia regular viewer who would find out that the CNN Kamala interview is happening right now and would be like, "Oh, sorry, leftist mafia, I'm watching this."
I don't know. I think there are people who are like they'll watch us. They don't. They know CNN. But they're not that familiar with the schedule, and maybe they're like, "Oh, you know what? These guys are boring."
We have some perverts in our audience that would rather watch CNN than us, I think. Just depends.
And they are perverts. Mostly perverts.
Yes.
Oh, speaking of perverts, Mike, I was just watching your video on JD Vance before I joined the Leftist Mafia stream, and I had not seen the root beer shit. I had seen the donut shop. I've seen the Swiss cheese where he was like, "Why does Swiss cheese have holes in it?" and all this other weird stuff. But I had not seen the root beer one where he's carrying that entire tray. That he's got to put it down because his like hands are shaking. And
then
he gets like all
video
awkward
JD Vance. I gotta see this.
It's so funny.
Lance, did you think that I was reading too much into it? Because I felt like I was, but it was. Like, I don't know if I just can't unsee the awkwardness, but I felt like that was a very bizarre and uncomfortable interaction. Okay, thank you.
He keeps doing this thing where he's talking to people. He just keeps going like, "Okay, good. Oh man, nice. Good.
Is this the video?
You. Okay, good. Yeah. Okay, like
This is the video. Okay, let's see.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. All right, guys. This is heavy. Jeez. All right, guys. I got it. All right. You got to take them off my hands, though, or I'm going to drop them from the meeting here. Here we go. Thank you.
Beta male. Low T. I agree.
Beta.
Put it down.
JD commits felony theft.
Why do they do these things? They're so fake.
But he's so bad at it. Look how that is the first time that man has ever had a root beer. Yeah. How he's
Watch
even
the
drinking it strange.
Okay, great. Yeah, great.
Oh.
A man. Okay, great.
All right, so don't have to steal a mug here. That's good. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Yep, you got it. Oh, sorry. Apparently got ice cream on here. Oh, you're good.
After seeing the donut one, I have a hard time. Like this one's whatever. It's
it's much better than the donut one for him, but it's still not normal. It's just still profoundly.
To me, it just looks like a guy like pretending to
Wait, is that a root beer float?
I think so. Yeah.
Why did he drink it like that? You don't drink a root beer float from the you don't drink it like that. You got to use the spoon. Right? Yeah, you got to use the spoon. Or
you start with the straw, then you get to the spoon.
Yeah, the straw and the spoon. Yeah. You don't sip it from the glass if it's a root beer float. There's a huge scoop of ice cream at the top.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but these lefties only got paper straws now, so they're not going to.
That's true.
It'll fall apart.
We did take their straws
in the cup. Can't use those.
Yep. We'll take away more shit too if they keep acting up.
Speaking of JD Vance,
thank you.
JD Vance also got booed.
One. Oh yeah,
right
at the
by the firefighters. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. Let me find the clip.
What's his polling at right now? Is he still in like the negative? Is he negative?
He's definitely
yes.
I don't think
he's like the most unliked person in this race right now.
Yeah.
Although there was a Fox News poll, I think, that had him at -12 and Trump at -15. So he was the third most disliked person in the race, finally.
That's what JD Vance calls a win.
Yeah.
Now, President Trump and I are proud to be the most pro-worker Republican ticket in history. And I want to talk about why we're fighting for working people, why we're going to fight for unions and non-union alike. Now,
and when he was introduced, it was, it was boost. I watched the whole thing, was boost throughout. It was there were a few applause lines, but it was like firefighters are amazing, and like yay. It was anytime he mentioned himself and Trump, though, it was all about booze. It's funny seeing Trump go around with RFK and Tulsi now. Either of them would have been a better choice for VP, probably. Than
Tulsi would have been a very, very good choice politically.
Probably the best choice, actually, even though I think she's
Yeah. I was watching
just
some
from electability.
I was watching some classic progressive voice videos of drama between David Dole, myself, and Nico House.
Wait. Sorry, say that again.
There are progressive voice classic videos.
Oh, progressive voice videos.
Yeah, of course.
Progressive voice started doing this shit when he was like 15 or something. Like,
yeah, he's got some bangers. But like, I rewatched after the whole Tulsi thing. I rewatched some of his videos about drama that David Dole and I got into with like the Tull cells, and it was very funny. Like, we got very heated. There were a lot of videos of me and David going against the Tull cells, right? And I tried to be very kind to them.
You and David going against them?
Of course.
I thought maybe Mike would have been a part of that group, being that he was once a Dorite himself.
I was trying to be kind. I was a Bernie supporter through and through, but I was trying to be like objective and impartial. And I released a video, just a rundown of Tulsi Gabbard. I did of some of the candidates, not all of them. And then there were moments where I was critical, moments where I was fair. And then the campaign reached out to me and they were like, hey, we'd love to come on and talk about it. And then they drug their feet for a while. Finally, they tried to get me to submit questions. I wouldn't, but I said general topics that I would send to the Tulsi campaign. She did not want to talk about those topics. They included LGBTQ plus rights, Israel-Palestine, Modi in India. So they just kind of ghosted me. And, I told people about that. And then they claimed that I was biased and I was jealous because Tulsi wouldn't give me an interview. So it was like lot. There was a lot of beef. And whenever somebody would mention Tulsi, there'd be Nico House right there in their mentions, correcting the record about why she's the leftiest. And now they're both supporting Trump. So it's so funny.
She had a long history of being anti-LGBTQ plus, though. Like, if you go to like articles about like her history with her father and stuff like that, like they were very, very LGBTQ plus.
I mean, it's not enough.
She pretended though that she had evolved past that, right?
So, I know she pretended that she changed. Now she goes to rallies with Matt Walsh.
There's anti-LGBTQ, or there were there still are anti-LGBTQ Democrats. There are, like I said before, there are some weird political ideologies out there. But I mean,
whenever I see a Ukraine flag and an Israeli flag and someone's like name, I'm like, oh, this is probably going to be a rough.
When I see that, I'm like, oh, this person's a moron.
Yeah.
Actually, who's it? Andrew Coyne, the Canadian writer, I think, journalist. He still has that in his Twitter bio.
Potent combination for the worst take imaginable incoming. As soon as I see it, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a terrible take. Here we go.
Pro Empire, baby.
I haven't watched any of these, but I guess they're appearing together in some whatever the hell this is.
He's live right now, or he was when I started streaming with Tulsi.
Okay.
Oh,
Minnesota, I mean, they picked this guy.
It's about Tim Walz.
He is weird. What? He's weird. I'm not weird. He's weird.
Look how much that comment has bothered him. He's weird, right? Not me. Yeah, he's the weird guy. Tim Walz, the guy that gave kids food. He's that guy's weird. Very bizarre.
No, he's a weird guy. He's a weird dude. See, they come up with sound bites. They always have sound bites. And one of the things is that JD and I are weird.
All he does is call people nicknames.
So straight. JD is.
He lives for sound bites. He's a fucking walking sound bite.
Why are they not sitting on the chairs?
They did when I tuned in. This is weird.
I'm not weird.
This is just awkward.
He's still going on about being weird. Not being weird.
He's weird. I'm not weird. We're not weird. We're not weird at all.
He's not weird. Not weird. We're not weird.
We're so normal.
I will tell you. But that guy is weird, don't you think?
He doesn't even have a reason as to why.
Called you.
I gotta say, out of all the people in this race, I look at Tim Walz and I'm like, that's just your average, normal, Midwestern-looking man. Like he just looks like
he doesn't have to try either. Like when you see him,
anybody could dislike, even if you don't like or agree with his politics, which I'm not sure why you wouldn't, since he just helps people, or at least recently. Even if you don't care for his politics, he's the most normal person in the race. Like that's clear based on everything.
Oh yeah,
and it's not an act because the guy's he's not wealthy. He has no stocks, which is super rare.
Yeah,
for anybody.
Rare as fuck. Yeah. They tried to
which I
attack him for
love.
that too. Like, I don't trust someone who doesn't have investments or a
Yeah,
house, in the Hamptons and stuff like that.
They try to have it both ways. Oh, Bernie, he's a millionaire. He's just full of shit. Oh, Tim Walz, he's sure he has no money, but he's actually just really bad with money. That's why he has no money. You can't have both ways. Gotta pick one.
Did you see?
It's ridiculous.
Did you see on this is obviously a very like niche group of conservatives, but in RFK Jr. had an interview with Dr. Phil after the Trump one. Have you seen the RFK Jr. one?
No,
I've not seen the RFK one.
I only saw David highlights of the Trump
unfortunate.
one.
Okay, so RFK Jr. is talking about how the government's gonna give all obese Americans Ozempic, whatever that drug is, whatever
Ozempic.
Ozempic, and it's gonna cost $3 trillion for us to give. I don't know what he's talking about. But he said a better thing to do that would save the government a lot of money, and what they should do is give every American 3 healthy meals per day, and they'd save a ton of money doing that. And all these conservatives are sharing this going, what a great idea. Give every American 3 healthy meals per day. And I'm like, the line of attack against Tim Walz is that he fed school children breakfast and lunch.
He's so far left.
And now you guys are talking about feeding every American 3 healthy meals per day. Let's do it. I'm down. Let's.
Oh yeah, no, I am fully on board with that policy. Go nuts.
Joe Rogan was calling like Tim Walz like a Marxist or something. I don't know. He was just saying, "Oh, Tim Walz is so far crazy left." And I guarantee you, if he hears RFK say that, oh, RFK is brilliant. He knows exactly what he's talking about. See, he wants to feed people. Like it's just.
Although I will say,
someone or Swiss cheese.
Such hacks.
The funny thing is, in the thread I saw, one of the comments from a conservative, I guess he realized it was going too far. And it was really funny because there was all these conservatives agreeing with this. And then this conservative jumps in and goes, "That's too many meals. We don't need more than 2 meals per day. We're eating too many meals." And it's like, whoa, 3 meals was a step too far now. Now it's Americans eat too many meals.
Okay, fine. I guess we'll compromise 2 meals a day, guaranteed to everybody. Sure.
So there's a lot of great attacks on Tim Walz. I saw a new one today from Megan. I was gonna say Megan McCain, but this is a different Megan Kelly. And I'm just gonna play it for you, because I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to give you any bit of details. Just see where she takes it.
Speaking of The Price is Right, it also reminded us of another person who kind of became famous on The Price is Right.
Pause for a second.
You know him as a very different kind of.
Who the hell are these guys with her? I have no
The guy in the
idea.
very right is using his mic incorrectly. And that's a Blue Yeti.
That is true.
You do not point it at your face like that.
Yeah, that is true.
So
I'm assuming this guy is on Glenn Beck because you got the GZ.
Oh, right. He's got the Glenn Beck.
The big white giant weird mic cover there.
Yeah. So he's maybe a friend of Dave Rubin. Say hi to Dave for us, Jim. And then there's this
Dave
guy.
Rubin on Glenn Beck?
Is Rubin still on the Blaze?
Yeah, Dave Rubin is on the Blaze TV. Yeah,
he's still there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
How long is he? He's been there for a while, right? But I didn't think he was still there anymore for a while. I thought he left.
Oh, I could be wrong. The last I checked, he was on the Blaze, but I haven't followed Dave Rubin for a while. He kind of
you
fell
guys
off.
would know more.
You
than
are
me.
correct.
What?
He
Who's
is.
correct?
Mike's correct. He is on the Blaze.
He's still there.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Little to no. I don't think there's any Blaze branding on that show set. I wouldn't even know by looking at his set.
I don't know if it's exclusive because he's got his own YouTube channel too, where he doesn't use any Blaze branding. And even on the Blaze TV website, it just says the Rubin Report. On the Blaze TV.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
well,
sorry.
No. So
Oh, yeah.
they're reacting to an appearance or a video of Tim Walz. Okay, I'm going to restart it so you get the full context because what she comes up with is very interesting to me.
Speaking of The Price is Right, it also reminded us of another person who kind of became famous on The Price is Right. You know him as a very different kind of person today, but this was when he was still admitting he's a man, Dylan Mulvaney.
Spin the wheel. Yeah, you get to spin the wheel, but guess what? You get a second chance in this game first.
No. I don't know if this is copyright, but she's saying that for some reason Tim Walz reminds her of Dylan Mulvaney. So I'll get past that, and then they're going to explain why, I guess, which doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. Maybe because Tim Walz is pro-trans and Dylan Mulvaney is trans, therefore they're exactly the same. But they share their reasoning in a bit here.
I thought she
was gonna make a segue to how Drew Carey of The Price is Right reminds her of Tim Walz for some reason, because
that'd make more sense.
Drew Carey's like he's from what, like Cleveland, right? And like he's from that general area, right? I know Ohio's not, the same as, but that same general, up there.
I mean,
zone.
No, I don't know. I think that in her mind, it's like, this person is a villain, so he reminds me of a villain. Got him. Something of that nature. Like, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. But they're gonna try, right? They're reaching real hard.
It was familiar, and there it is, black and white, right in front of you, Stu.
It's the same dance. He's got the same dance as well. It really is amazing. I will say it is a little unfair to Price is Right contestants who largely told the truth. So they are definitely different in that way.
They admitted when they were guessing.
Yes, it's true.
How is this show
he's a
popular?
strange.
Right. It doesn't make any sense. She gets millions of views on YouTube.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she crushes it online. I've seen that for a while.
Yeah.
Ever since she started getting really culture war and anti-trans.
She has gone heavy in that direction. Yeah.
The anti-trans stuff.
That algorithm.
Oh, it's currency on the internet. It's just so sad to see. But again, you're not even making any kind of I don't know, substantial arguments about this topic. It's like, they remind me of each other. It reminds me of a thing I don't like. The evil trans people. That's the extent of this.
She also brings up another critique of Tim Walz as well. It's unrelated to the Dylan Mulvaney critique, which
they're really afraid of Tim Walz because I think they realize how
he's too normal.
Yeah, they realize how effective he is as a communicator, and they're doing what they can to try and paint him in a different direction.
Yeah. We'll get to the dog replacement theory after this, or conspiracy theory, I should say, after this. Have you guys ever heard that one?
I love that one. That one's darling.
Some good shit. Yeah.
Dude, I don't get it. I feel like this is going to get grating to the American public eventually. I don't understand it. I don't understand. I am very annoyed by Kamala Harris. He actually annoys me more than Kamala Harris annoys me, which is saying something.
How about all the bowing, Steve? It's like he spent all his 30 trips to China. He said they never treated him so well, and now he bows like he's Chinese all the time. I have news for you, Governor. We don't do that in our country. Bowing over to people. That's not our thing.
Maybe we should.
Look at it with the hands together. What are you doing? It's not a yoga class, and you're not in China. You're running to be the vice president of the United States. And newsflash, if you bow to a foreign leader like that, you're going to get crushed, even by the leftist media back here.
What is the stretch here?
This is wild.
Got him.
Oh my God, these people are fucking lunatics.
He's a Chinese communist because he bows.
Oh my fucking God.
I'm going to go out of my way to do this now to people, just because I know it rubs the wrong way. Yeah. So have you guys heard of the dog conspiracy theory? It's a good one.
I've heard of it.
Oh,
I
wanted
this
to add.
Sounds too dumb for me to spend any time even understanding what this is.
Oh, it's so good.
Mike, can you do more? Can you do more segments with your dog? I love that. Where you interview each other. Yeah, do that. Make that a regular thing.
You interviewed your dog?
That should be your Warmbo.
I did. As a correspondent, since this is a segment about dogs. He was so good. He cooperated. I thought that the other dog would jump on the chair with him and they'd start fighting. But no, they were actually very cooperative. But yeah, so basically, somebody thinks
you should show the clip. It's adorable. If they haven't seen it.
Yeah, I'll bring it up. Somebody thinks Tim Walz was lying about his dog Scout. Because he posted a picture on Twitter of himself with his dog Scout, which is a black dog. I think it's a lab or something. And then there's another picture that he shared, which is actually a thumbnail to a video that he shared on Instagram with a different dog. And he says, took Scout to the dog park.
And the Jamaican dog couldn't be black.
And so, long story short, all of this is a scandal about him petting another dog at the dog park. That Scout was playing with, but they thought he was trying to pass off the dog that wasn't Scout as Scout, and they're like, man, he's even lying about his own dog. When he was literally just petting another dog at the dog park, which any dog owner will tell you, it happens a lot. We pet other dogs. You love dogs, you're at the dog park. your dog plays with the other dogs, it's not even a controversy at all. But yeah, I could bring up the I'll bring up my my dog segment.
Yeah, I want to see you interview your dog. Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey.
Okay, talk about the dogs. How are you guys doing?
How are you?
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I missed you guys.
Yeah.
Missed you too. Yeah. We're all back together again.
I know. The family, the band is back together.
First time in like a month, I think. Or maybe even longer.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's been a while.
And I probably can't make it next week. I think I'm going to be out. So back to having.
Now is not the time.
The small crew again.
We're rejoicing, David.
I'm trying to plan a week off sometime in September, but I was going to take the week of the 10th off, but then I realized the 10th is literally the debate. So I can't do that. So maybe the next week we'll see. But here is my dog segment. This video did not do very well, by the way. I was sad by that because I put a lot of time into it.
What is not very well? I see 2,000 thumbs up. That's not very well for you?
Well, it depends. I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad, but you know, I wanted it to hit the algorithm. I put poopy in it, but apparently, I don't know.
I decided to talk to an expert on the matter. So here's the conversation that I had with Humanist Report dog correspondent Poopy Figueredo. Sir Poopy, so tell me, as an expert on human-dog relations, what is your takeaway from the photograph? Is Tim Walz lying or is he not lying? Thank you, Poopy. He's a very good boy. So look,
more
that.
More of these segments.
That was great.
I love that.
Yeah, I figured, you know, you can fuck around a little bit if you're talking about something that's so fucking stupid.
Oh, of course.
So
I think
you know,
should. If you're talking about any right-wing bullshit, yes, have as much fun as possible to actually make it enjoyable to watch, because people don't just want to consume right-wing trash and feel shitty. They want to like laugh at how fucking stupid these people are.
Yeah, yeah. And there were so many really beautiful comments about Poopy. I appreciate everybody saying that. If I saw one negative comment about my dog, I would find their address. I would track them down. I would show up to their house, and I would confront them. Okay.
What would someone say about your dog?
Relax.
I mean, it's YouTube. It's YouTube. Oh, I mean, I'm sure.
That's one
they say about your
ugly
dog?
dog. Who cares? It's a dog. Who cares?
Your dog is fat. Your dog
How can
is.
anyone call that dog ugly?
He's adorable, or
Adorable
she.
dog.
What is
Sweet.
it?
Matt, are you serious?
Pugs are.
He's
pugs are ugly
adorable.
dogs.
What?
Oh my
God.
Listen, pugs are adorable. They're dorky, but they're very sweet.
Oh,
Matt
I love
actually
pugs.
hates
I love
dogs. No, you hate dogs. Remember, you told me during the dystopian time stream.
You hate your dog.
We were doing a dog segment.
So fast if someone fucked with my dog. I get it. I totally get what Mike's talking about. Like,
no,
I would just
Matt,
go
do you
full John
remember?
Wick. Instantaneously, I'd be digging up the old weapons I had buried underneath the house. Everything.
Listen, calling a dog ugly isn't the same as calling a person ugly. There are ugly dogs out there, but they're a dog. They're cute and adorable, even if they're ugly.
All dogs
They're
are beautiful.
ugly dogs.
You know what?
I don't agree.
I'm gonna say this and be fine with it. I used to want a dog, but then like having to. I see where I live at, the people they love their dogs, and I'm just because white people love their dogs. But then I thought it was just a white thing, but black people love their dogs, and I feel if I had a dog,
Hispanic people like
they
everyone
love
loves
their dogs.
except
They
for
love
Matt.
their dogs. They hate everybody else's dogs. They love their dogs. Now, if I had a dog, I would have to ask my dog like every day, like, do you know you're Haitian? I would have to speak Creole to it. Like my dog would just like, do you know you're black? Do you know you're Haitian? This is what we do. You can't walk around like some other dogs. Like this you can't. But no, I see people really love their dogs, especially around here. There is like this one home like apartment in the front, and she and her partner walk around all the time. When I first moved here, everybody was looking at them crazy because the dogs are huge, like greyhound looking dogs, but they're super hairy, and they have 2 of them. And I'm like, in this apartment, where are those dogs? But they look so sweet. They look so nice and sweet, and they don't come up to anybody like the little dogs do. They don't bark at people. They're just very well respected. They respect people. Those are good dogs. Like
they're very stoic. I know which breed you're talking about. I can't remember the name of it, but they're like very regal, very calm.
They look like
horses almost. So
yeah,
big.
they look like they look like little horses, but they don't want to be. They're like we're not like the other dogs. But the neighbor that I have, her dog ran up to me. This dog was wild, and I looked at her, and she was like, she's good. She's good. She's a good dog. She's a good dog. No, get your dog away from me, because now she's doing all this, showing me fangs. I don't know what's happening here.
When they start, no.
Yeah, and then she's like, she's good. No, I'm going
You
to
can't
take your
control
dog.
them
Now I'm gonna have to. You gonna fight me because I'm about to do something to your dog. I'm like, get it away, get it away. And she's just like, no, it's fine. Now she's mad at me because I'm telling her, get your dog away from me. I have groceries in my hand. Like, I gotta go up 5 flights. Like, get your dog away from me. And she's just like, she's a good dog. I'm like, girl, get your dog away. Like, I know you love your dog, but your dog is about to attack me. So every time she sees me,
Chihuahua?
It's like a mixed dog. It's a long one, but it's not like it's not supposed to be. I feel like it's not even supposed to be that breed. It's like a wishbone mixed with like a little hot dog.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, because my parents had a Chihuahua, and I asked because our Chihuahua attacked neighbors and the mailman, and he was like this big, full grown.
Chihuahuas
It was a teacup
like,
Chihuahua.
Yeah.
They're adorable and sweet, but they're crazy as fuck.
Chihuahua, is that supposed to happen? Because some people y'all be mixing these dogs, and they're not supposed to be a thing. And now the dog only can live about 3 days.
Those teacup dogs are never healthy. They're not.
Yeah, they have
imagine
terrible
so.
issues.
They put
he had a lot of health.
Dogs. Like they put in.
He had a lot of health problems.
Die. Like tomorrow, and
you're not supposed to buy purebreds because it's just incest gone wrong. It's human beings playing mad experiments on like animals. You're supposed to get mixed breeds and stuff like that. A lot of them have a lot of health problems because humans were just like, what if you had lots of skin? That would be funny, like a big skinny dog and covered in skin and stuff. You know,
I mean, you're describing the general breed that is a pug, though. I mean, they are.
Hey, watch it.
Have health problems. I mean, they usually
do
have
though.
problems breathing as they get older. Yeah.
Yeah, they unfortunately do.
Dogs are not meant. Dogs are not meant to have a reverse snout like pugs and bulldogs have. Like their face is pressed in instead of out. Yeah.
Yeah, the brachiocephalic breeds are really prone to like breathing issues and stuff. Thankfully, Poopy doesn't have that problem. He does have issues with like pancreatitis and whatnot, but like in terms of breathing, thankfully everything is good. Because good. That is typically an issue. But yeah.
Sorry to end the dog talk, but we got some clips rolling in from this interview if you guys are interested.
Oh, perfect.
Are you interested?
Put my dog on screen for 2 seconds here.
Oh, look at that nice little dog.
He's so handsome.
Very cute.
Look how happy he is. So happy.
No fangs.
Oh. That's the wrong one. There we go.
President, Governor Walz, thank you so much for sitting down with me and bringing the bus. Bus tour is well underway here in Georgia. You have less time to make your case to voters than any candidate in modern American history. The voters are really eager to hear what your plans are. If you are elected, what would you do on day one in the White House?
Well,
communism.
There are a number of things. I will tell you first and foremost, one of my highest priorities is to do what we can to support and strengthen the middle class. When I look at the aspirations, the goals, the ambitions of the American people, I think that people are ready for a new way forward. In a way that generations of Americans have been fueled by hope and by optimism. I think sadly, in the last decade, we have had in the former president someone who has really been pushing an agenda and an environment that is about diminishing the character and the strength of who we are as Americans, really dividing our nation. And I think people are ready to turn the page on that.
So what would you do day one?
Day one, it's going to be about implementing my plan for what I call an opportunity economy. I've already laid out a number of proposals in that regard, which include what we're going to do to bring down the cost of everyday goods, what we're going to do to invest in America's small businesses, what we're going to do to invest in families, for example, extending the child tax credit to $6,000 for families for the first year of their child's life to help them buy a car seat, to help them buy baby clothes, a crib.
As much as I hate on
Kamala,
that is like a genuinely good policy that will help a lot of people. Like for all the talk that Republicans like won't shut the fuck up about like breeding and birth rates plummeting and all this kind of stuff. Like they don't do anything to help families with kids. Like the $6,000 tax break is a genuinely good policy.
Yeah. And
investing in.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say there was all this criticism of her price fixing legislation that she wanted to come up with. But Kroger just admitted, was it last week? Or maybe it was this week, that they were engaging in price fixing. So she was proven right with that.
Of course.
In the American family around affordable housing, a big issue in our country right now. So there are a number of things on day one.
I gotta say, it's so far it's a lot more boring than I guess was hyped to believe. Because it's just gonna be a standard interview. Like, what are you gonna do? And
no, we've been used to the party.
I would just tell the truth. What would I do day one? Finish unpacking? It's day one. What do you think I'm gonna do day one? How the hell are you gonna get anything done day one?
I'd christen the bathroom, take the fattest shit in the White House toilet.
Can't even do anything. These guys can't even do anything on day 800. What are they gonna do on day one?
Yeah, but I think that it's we're gonna get her a more serious side of her. Not saying that she hasn't been, because but we're gonna get more, like, there's no party in the background. There's no people in the background. It's just her and the interviewer. And people were worried about her not sitting down and interviewing. So finally having her do this, we're gonna just get more stoic, like just kind of focused, because she's gonna want to hear everything. She doesn't have cheerleaders in the back. She doesn't have that vibe right now. It's just her and the interviewer, and with Tim Walz next to her. So Walz next to her. Let me get that right. And so we're gonna see. It's not gonna be as exciting, but we're gonna get that. She's gonna want to answer every question, because everybody was criticizing her for not doing any sit-down interviews, thus far. So having this one is people are gonna be really, really focused on everything she says, policy-wise, especially.
That's kind of the issue when you don't do many of these. It's just like there's so much focus on this interview, because it's like the first. If they just did like a bunch of them, I know it's this is the first month of the campaign that they had other stuff, other priorities. But if they just keep doing interviews now, like regular interviews, no one's going to focus on any little mistake they may make. Like there's going to be, there's going to be a lot of it to really to kind of drown out the idea that she's not doing interviews or anything.
Yeah. I was going to say that, like, I was, I've been critical of Kamala, but I think that the whole the freak out around where's Kamala, why isn't she doing interviews, that like this manufactured or attempted manufactured controversy from the GOP, it's kind of stupid, right? Because it's not like she was gonna hide and not do interviews. As Dana Bash put it, they've had a month so far to get shit together, and it's not the highest priority. Campaigning, making sure you hit swing states, that's priority number one. Can you make time for it? Sure, she's talked to reporters here and there, but I think that it's just not a good attack. It's kind of toothless, right? You can't do the Kamala's basement thing like you could about Joe Biden back in 2020.
I'd also be more sympathetic to the idea that she's dodging interviews if they were actually going to ask like real questions, like, "Hey, how can you say you're for law and order but support Israel?" Like,
exactly.
Are you going to get back in the Iran deal after Trump ripped it up and has clearly, increased tensions since then? Like, there are real questions that the media could ask, but they're not going to, because they're going to be like, "Oh, do you think you're too far left for the country? Are you going to work with Republicans?" Like, this is the fucking bullshit that are just trotted out every time with these dumbass interviews that we don't need to see these same questions over and over again, but how far left and scary these candidates are and how they have to move to the center to reach out to fascists. Like, fuck off.
Yeah. Wait, David,
there's
you
more,
mean to tell me
clips here, but they all seem boring. I could play more if you want. But
we can watch.
Yeah, I want to hear. Yeah.
But David, you don't think that Dana Bash, who compared anti-genocide protesters to the KKK and Nazis, is going to ask a substantive question about Israel? Really, you don't think that?
I would. I said a couple days ago, I'm like, oh, Dana Bash, I guess we're going to expect a question about how you're too far left. Another one about does the Democratic Party have an anti-Semitism problem because there's like. It's a spray 100%. It's going to be for. That's the kind of shit I'm expecting from this interview. Like we're going to find out. But what did you send me, Lance?
Oh, there's a clip of Trump I hadn't seen where apparently he blames the lack of bacon on wind turbines.
It's a first.
Wait, there's a lack of bacon?
It's a short one. We'll get back to more Kamala, but this seems funny.
There's a lack of bacon? Can someone...
I guess we'll find out.
Is this a thing?
Bacon in some of these products, and some people don't eat bacon anymore. And we are going to get the energy prices down. When we get energy down, this was caused by their horrible energy wind. They want wind all over the place. When it doesn't blow, we have a little problem.
When it doesn't blow, we have a little problem.
Like, we gotta be for real. Like, this ain't even.
I want to say this for a sound drop. When it doesn't blow, we have a little problem.
In the Dr. Phil interview, he said, if you look at these windmills, they're basically graveyards for birds underneath every one of them.
You look under them, there's a graveyard for birds. Oh my god.
What is? There's no.
Such a fucking clown.
There's no reason. There's never a reason for. Yeah, I don't know.
All right, here's another clip from this interview.
You talked about, you call it the opportunity economy. You are well aware that right now many Americans are struggling. There's a crisis of affordability. One of your campaign themes is we're not going back. But I wonder what you say to voters who do want to go back when it comes to the economy specifically, because their groceries were less expensive. Housing was more affordable when Donald Trump was president.
Oh, she's so sneaky.
Well, let's start with the fact that when Joe Biden and I came in office, during the height of a pandemic, we saw over 10 million jobs were lost. People, I mean, literally, we were all tracking the numbers. Hundreds of people a day were dying because of COVID. The economy had crashed. In large part, all of that because of mismanagement by Donald Trump of that crisis. When we came in, our highest priority was to do what we could to rescue America. And today, we know that we have inflation at under 3%. A lot of our policies have led to the reality that America recovered faster than any wealthy nation around the world. But you are right. Prices, in particular for groceries, are still too high. The American people know it, I know it, which is why my agenda includes what we need to do to bring down the price of groceries. For example, dealing with an issue like price gouging, what we need to do to extend the child tax credit to help young families be able to take care of their children in their most formative years.
It was a smart way to respond to
To
that.
bring down the cost of housing. My proposal includes what would be a tax credit of $25,000 for first-time home buyers, so they can just have enough to put a down payment on a home, which is part of the American dream and their aspiration, but do it in a way that
Which
allows
states does that
them
apply
to
in?
actually get on the path to achieving that goal and that dream.
So
I asked that because like a house in Vancouver, the median price I think right now is about $3 million for detached home in Vancouver. So yeah, I know we got the worst housing
Jeez.
crisis of like North America going down right now. So like I don't know which states, like, don't get me wrong, I am for even $1 in like help for people who need to put a down payment to get a house for the first time. But like, is $25,000 going to be enough? Like, that probably applies to certain states where that would be like don't get me wrong,
Not in
changing-
Florida.
Right.
Yeah, it depends
I
on
would-
the state, but I think it would be enough in a lot of states.
For the first time home, because people are getting
Mhm.
like 6,000, 9,000 or stuff like that. That's what I've heard. But 25,000, and probably on what they're saving or what they have already. And then
If they
I
just
think they
jack
can
the
couple-
prices up, like I think the bigger way to solve it, and she, is doing this is building more homes. Like the issue is just a
Building?
lack.
They're building homes every day, like especially where I live in Georgia.
Yeah,
Everywhere I
you gotta
go, every
specifically
corner.
say social housing, because like they are building tons of stuff in Vancouver, but it's all rich luxury apartments that
so-
also no one can afford,
need
right?
public
Yeah, but
houses.
when there's more,
Yeah.
the thing if no one's affording, no one's buying them, right? Like there has to be more housing stock
Oh.
to sort of address the market, because there's not enough. There are, affordability of social housing, of course, that would be fantastic if she focused on building public housing, but just generally, when you have more housing, you would think it's going to bring down the costs for housing across the board, at least depending on where that housing is being built. But
No, because even over here in the hoods, the house in Atlanta, where you would think they're lower, they're higher. They're higher. A lot of people right now live on the outskirts, like me. A lot of people live on the outskirts, and a lot of white folks get upset about it. But it's affordable over here. More people can afford it in the outskirts from the city area, or even like it'll be places where you're like, okay, nobody lives over here, but you get over there, and because they built new homes, they price them the same as the rest of that area of Atlanta. And they're supposed to be called affordable homes. And they have Fulton, and they separated a part of Atlanta called South Fulton a few years ago. And they have like affordable housing. My friend had got a loan for it, put her money in and everything, was ready to move into this new build. Then they started doing some sneaky housing stuff. And while she was about to move in, they like literally jacked the price up of those homes. And then on the home that she had solidified, everything, paperwork done, down payment, they gave it to somebody else who was paying like double. So they just were doing some sneaky stuff. The homes were, I live in apartments, and there are homes right up in front of me. When I was first moving here, the homes were totally affordable. They kept changing the sign out like they do at the grocery store, like putting a little slide, a little number in there, whatever. They kept doing it like month by month, just changing and changing it. And then it went from, I think it was 200,000 for these new builds to, I think they're up at like almost 600,000 right now. And I'm like, what? I don't understand. Like, it's nobody, even I think I would love for them to fix the rent. If people live there, the increased prices of rent, like, please, like, fix that, because I pay over $1,000 more in my rent than I did when I first moved here. Nothing has changed. All the white glove services that we had when we first moved here, gone. And they switch out management like every damn 3 months. So nothing is consistent, nothing. So I don't know what it is. And I don't think it's always been like that, but it's like trickery when it comes to housing. And then there's the whole thing about they're having people apply for housing so damn much, knowing that they're not going to sell anybody this house. And what they're doing is making their money off of the housing applications. So they're getting the money from the housing applications so much. It's on Zillow, it's here, it's everywhere. So everybody's applying. So they're just making money from that, and nobody's hearing back or anything. So it's very, that whole system needs to be fixed. It's super broken. Loans, trying to get loans, it's super broken. So I would love to see something different, and having 25,000 down to try to get a home, that would be great. But a lot of people are going to have to move right now. If it's right now, like everybody, they'll tell you here, I don't live in Atlanta, even though it's Metro Atlanta. Everybody cannot afford to live, and it's outside of like that, just the little city area. Everything is just so expensive, from apartments, townhomes, duplexes, to just a house. And it could be a really old one. It's a fixer-upper. They're still going for so much money. So they're playing with that
because
too.
of immigrants, right? Immigrants should cause.
Immigrants are the problem. They're coming in, and that's exactly what
they're buying up all the $1 million homes.
And voting. Illegal immigrants voting and buying homes.
Immigrants coming over the border.
Did you see that video that a whole bunch of the right people, I played it on Like It or Not like 2 weeks ago, the video of a whole bunch of people upset about they're upset about this video that a woman, a Black woman, she was selling her food truck, and she's a vet. And she said she comes from a family of veterans. And this is what gets the right riled up. And veterans, right? She goes, I'm selling my food truck, and she's crying, honey. She's in her car crying. I can't see no tear. But the acting began. And she was like, I'm so frustrated. I'm so mad. And she specifically said at the beginning of the video, I have a question for you, Kamala Harris, or Vice President. She ain't even say Joe Biden. She said Vice President. Why is it that immigrants an immigrant came in and he's selling my food truck. He said, I don't really need my food truck because I'm selling it because I'm doing something different. But I'm selling my food truck, and he came and bought it from me, and he showed me his paperwork, and I'm like, how were you able to get a loan? And he's like, well, I got this from the bank. Like, this is my paperwork. It's legit. I can do this. This is, she's like, and I'm so upset because I had to work so hard. I couldn't get no loan. I couldn't do just her whole spill. And she was just like, and you guys are giving them. I fought for this country, and y'all giving them. First of all, lady, nobody came to buy your truck. Nobody came to buy your truck. This person is coming to buy your truck. We're just talking about the money. Get the money and shut up. Nobody came to buy your. You should be grateful.
And is that even true?
And
is there a program where banks are letting illegal immigrants get massive loans?
And I wouldn't say massive. I think it was a few. She didn't say the amount, but it's a food truck. So, but there are banks that will give, like, they will have a constructive program for them. And I was saying this online. People were upset. I worked for a well-known bank, whatever. And I know for sure, because the people I used to contact for businesses and work with them were all mostly migrants, right? Immigrants, I should say. And they had loans. And the way that this particular bank hiked up their APRs, they made and then the way that they come after them, which by law the last few years it changed the way that they come after them, but they would say things like, the things that I've heard that these people would say to these people, like, we're gonna have to send you back, we're gonna take your home, we're gonna do all that, scare them. And they're the ones that pay back the most. Their APRs were messed up to begin with, but during the pandemic a lot of them were hurt, so they're getting them the most. That's the people that this bank gets the most, but they love to go for them. They'll make sure they go for them.
They exploit them the most.
They do. Mm-hmm. They definitely do.
I was going to say that's got to be a different thing between America and Canada, because in Canada, when you get a bank loan, like, it is just rigorous to get any even small amounts. They look into like your entire history. They want to see not just pay stubs, but like what your parents' bank accounts are and like all this kind of stuff. Like, it's ruthless.
They know to go for them though, because they know they want a life here. They probably want to open up a business, the food truck business or whatever it may be, right? And they're like, oh yeah, this person really wants it. So we'll tell them, we'll give them that. And a lot of people, and I know even in my own family, they'll be so excited, like, I got this. This American bank.
That's for people with green cards, right? Or people who are like, because like, you need a social security number, don't you?
She wanted to say, yeah, but they also for like some of these business loans, you need like a what they call it, like a tax number or EIN, I think that's what they call it. And as long as you have something documented, you can get, if they're here, some kind of way they can get something. And there's going to be banks that can work with you. It's not all banks, but there's a simple Google search to the person that wrote under there that was like, they're doing this illegally. No, there are banks that will work with, some migrants. But like I said, the numbers don't make sense. And I see it every day and I look at it and I'm like, dang, and they're the ones that will pay back. They will fight. They will beg. They will be on the phone afraid. Like, I'm going to pay it back. I'm going to like really scared. This is what can I do? What can I do? And the bank itself, like, they don't clarify all of what they'll do. They talk fast to the people and then give them the loans. They will go and take, if you have money with that bank, you wake up in the next morning, they will clear your account. They will clear your account. I know some other people who were migrants, didn't live here, but they had business here. And I've seen their accounts have millions and millions of dollars. And the bank, because they have no reason for why they took the money, but the bank reserves the right to take it. And you'll wake up one day and the bank felt like, hey, this person doesn't live here. We'll take the money, millions of dollars, and they will keep it for themselves. No reason why. I'm telling you, no reason why.
I gotta say, if it's a millionaire, I'm less sympathetic.
But I'm saying, like, but I'm like,
is that loaned money, or is that like they're earned?
No, because they were like, they had loaned money and they were out of the country and may have missed a payment.
Oh, okay. Then they just
a payment.
Yeah.
5 days. And boom, They're like, yeah, we don't fuck with you no more. So yeah, we'll take
Damn.
all of your money. It could have been like you owe $10. So, but the most that I've seen though, I won't lie, specifically Mexicans, they go after them. And other banks, a simple Google search, and I had to tell the person that will tell you there are some banks that will work with them, some credit unions, some whatever. They'll figure out a way to see what they can do to work with you to get you a loan. Small or big, but the APR on that joint be a fool. It do. It do. Anyways, the story goes, this lady was on there and all the people on the right was so upset. They were so mad. They were like, America under Kamala Harris. And I'm like, first of all, lady, Joe Biden is president. Why would you just go? She's like, I want to know right now why this is happening. Like, girl.
Sounds like an attempt to go viral. Is what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
But it got everybody on the right. Somebody said, I can hear the pain in her voice. I was like, please. Give me a break. Like, people
I
are
don't know
dying.
what these people want. Like, if you compare deportation numbers between Biden and Trump, Biden deported more immigrants. And yet they're claiming he has an open border. Like, I genuinely don't know what the fuck they want. They're saying mass deportations now. How long until they're like, no, death camps? Because they keep getting more extreme. It's genuinely scary.
Yeah, the facts don't matter. This is why it never makes any policy. It never makes any political sense or policy sense to move to the right, because you're not satiating anyone. Like, no one's satisfied by what you're doing. That are pretending to, that they'd be open to changing their mind about you if you change your policy. No, they're not going to fucking change their mind. They just don't like you. I got more clips here from this interview.
Okay,
yeah. It's live in full now, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well, easy to go clip by clip.
He suggested that you happened to turn black recently for political purposes.
I still
Questioning
can't
the
get over the
core
fact that they
of
ran
your
with that for
identity.
so long.
Look at me.
Same old tired playbook. Next question, please.
Yes.
That's it.
Okay,
That's a great answer.
first.
I think that's the best way to
They
answer
was
that
given,
question.
look at
Yeah.
it. Do I look black or no? Like,
That's a great
Next
answer.
I am
All
in
right,
fact black.
here's Israel, Gaza. So get
Uh-oh.
ready to probably be disappointed.
Oh, God.
President Biden has tried unsuccessfully to end the war between Israel and Hamas in Gaza. He's been doing it for months and months, along with you. Would you do anything differently?
I'm sorry, it's not a fucking war. It's a genocide.
Yeah.
It's the same bullshit.
Yeah.
But again, these questions are
Providing
never
all the
framed properly.
weapons, dropping on babies' faces.
Yeah, like really.
Yeah,
it's
calling it a
not
war
even
is such
close.
propaganda.
The civilian numbers are. The civilian number hasn't changed for Israel since October 7th. Like, are you fucking kidding? This is not a war.
War between Israel and Hamas in Gaza. He's been doing it for months and months, along with you. Would you do anything differently? For example, would you withhold some U.S. weapons shipments to Israel? That's what a lot of people on the progressive left want you to do.
Let me be very clear. I'm unequivocal and unwavering in my commitment to Israel's defense and its ability to defend itself. And that's not going to change. But let's take a step back. October 7.
That's how they
Oh,
always
come
start.
on. Going all the
They
way
always
back.
start
People
there.
were massacred. Many young people who
She's
were
trying to filibuster.
simply
This is a bullshit answer
attending
already.
a music festival.
She's
Women
not
are
filibustering. She's
horribly raped.
propagandizing.
10 times.
It's different.
As I
yeah.
said then, I
Yeah. A lot.
Let's see what she said though. Did she speak up? Let's see if she got to anything.
Just so people know, a lot of what she's saying, the reports have been discredited. But anyways, let's obviously people were killed, obviously, but a lot of the other stuff that she brings up here is not necessarily true.
I say today, Israel has a right to defend itself. We would. And how it does so matters. Far too many innocent Palestinians have been killed. And we have got to get a deal done. We were in Doha. We
Good
have
luck
to get
without
a
cutting
deal
off
done.
weapons.
This war must end.
In the meantime,
And we must get a deal that is about getting the hostages out. I've
This
met
is just the
with
same shit she said in
families
her
of the
speech.
American hostages.
It
Let's
is.
get the hostages out. Let's get the ceasefire done.
but no change in policy in terms of arms and so forth.
No, we have to get a deal done. Dana, we have
Shit
to get a
answer.
deal done. When you look at
It's frustrating her
the significance
because
of
the
this
pushback, the
to the
follow up.
families, to the people who are living in that region,
Girl.
a deal is not only the right thing to do to end this war, but will unlock so much of what must happen next. I remain committed since I've been on October 8th.
I need her to
what we must do to work toward a two-state solution where Israel is secure and in equal measure.
Okay, shut the fuck up.
Palestinians have
It gave so much about
I just want to
Israel. She
finish it just to
never
see if
said
there's anything else here, but 3
determination
seconds.
and dignity.
Okay, no.
I thought she was gonna say
Awful.
Palestine
0 out
or
of 10.
Gaza.
Okay,
something.
there's one and one alone. When she was asked about is there going to be no change, no difference in selling the weapons, she didn't answer that directly. She could have said, we will continue to support Israel in every way we can. She could have done something like that, right? She kind of tried to avoid the answer to that. That's as close as you get to something beyond just like endorsing straight up racist genocidal policies, right?
I do tend to think I continue to think that she's a bit handcuffed by the fact that Biden is the current president, and she is, I can understand, maybe worried if she is going to have a big shift in policy announced before she even becomes president, that Netanyahu is going to try something to keep the U.S. in, do something even worse. But I get all that. It's just that it's to hear this same bullshit, this two-side bullshit, like at least speak to the realities of who is committing fine, you don't want to say genocide, who is committing the mass atrocities in Gaza. It's always, they'll happily mention it, and it's fine. Of course, mention Hamas killed civilians. Yes, good. Maybe also mention that Israel are the ones killing innocent Palestinians. But it's what's happening in Gaza is terrible. What is happening? Can you explain what is happening? Yeah, with American weapons. This idea, we got to get a deal done. You are feeding the genocider with the weapons that are committing the mass atrocities. What deal? End the fucking weapons. This idea that, we have to get a deal done. Sure, get a deal done, but how about in the meantime, stop sending this mass genocider more and more weapons and money like that. And again, she's not going to do that because that would be a policy change. This is really a Joe Biden issue, but it's just this two-siding is just it's so ridiculous, and it's just frustrating to hear this.
Especially
same garbage.
Now, Israel just killed 10 people in West Bank. They launched an assault on the West Bank. There's no Hamas there.
They're invading the West Bank right now.
Every single day. Not to mention, has anyone at all mentioned the fact that there's Israeli soldiers bragging about raping Palestinian detainees?
The multiple torture and rape centers that have come out. There's been torture and rape centers of Palestinian civilians. There's one that's been talked about that was a rape and torture center for Palestinian children, and another one for aid workers. Like these are 3 different documented cases of rape and torture facilities. Like that's, at this point, it's like this is beyond the pale. Like at what point do you
even have Cindy McCain out there, John McCain's wife out there, like criticizing Joe Biden for not doing enough here. Like when you've lost a McCain, it shows you how out of whack this administration is on this particular issue.
She could have definitely, I feel like what she said during the DNC was a bit more. I don't like when they ask questions like this, especially to them. And they, like Kamala, is not saying, mentioning at least the people of Palestine, Palestinians, people of Gaza. At least it's almost like you can't say it. You can't, it's just like, I can only say the people of Israel, October 7th, Hamas. Mm-hmm. That's it. Yeah. There's no Palestine. There's no, I want her to say that. The only time I've really heard her say that was during the DNC. And I didn't like that. I felt like she went a little bit too, like you said, filibustering, BSing, and giving us the same storyline that we're going to hear probably again and again and again when she's asked this. Probably for the debates, we'll probably hear that as well. I don't know. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I'm at the point where it just is expected. I can't even get up in arms because it's just expected. What I want to see is action. I don't let them say whatever the fuck they want at this point. I don't care. If she's elected, I want to see action done. If she's got to say whatever she thinks she's got to say to save face for certain, political expediency, for political expediency or whatever. I don't care what the game is. Just do something to help the people in Gaza and stop playing this bullshit. If you got to use the words to play the game, fine. But action-wise, you got to do something.
I agree. I'll agree
Well,
with that.
part of the problem, though, is that, like, and I agree with what you're saying, Matt. The problem is that she's not playing the game itself very well because we're in a situation where tensions continue to escalate. And if Netanyahu invades southern Lebanon or launches a hot war with Iran, if she doesn't break from Biden, that's going to get pinned on her too. Like, by distancing herself from him explicitly, she has the opportunity to save face if, shit kind of goes south. And it could at any moment because Netanyahu wants Donald Trump to win. So why wouldn't he sabotage this situation, sabotage Biden even more? He's tried to sabotage Biden. So why wouldn't he actually do more? Like, he's doing more right now. Like, I'm saying that as if it's hypothetical. Like, he's invading the West Bank. So as things get worse, like, she risks being blamed if she continues to tie herself to Biden's unpopular policy. 70% of Democrats
she's the
support
vice
ending
president. Like, it's not that she's tying herself. She is part of the administration. Is the issue?
Right.
Like
no, I know, but with Hubert Humphrey, he finally distanced himself from Johnson, but it was too late. So you can do it. And Democrats increasingly, like Ro Khanna, Senator Gary Peters, are saying, yes, she should do it, and I'm going to tell her to do it, but she's not. And the longer she waits, the more she's playing with fire here. This could all blow up in both her face and Biden's face. So it's really a gamble she's taking.
But we keep talking about this as if they see the same thing that we see. Like, it's crystal clear that they don't view this the same way we view it in terms of it being like, let's take the actual thing that we care about, the actual human lives at stake, the main thing. Let's just for a second, for this conversation, let's take that out of the equation for a second and talk strictly about how this can affect the Democrats or her candidacy or potential administration. They don't view this as a liability. It's just that simple. Because if they did, we wouldn't be this far into it. They just don't. They view supporting Israel at the level they support Israel as good for them. It's just that simple.
It is because that's their ally. They're allies with Israel. They will not, from day one, from when this news came out to when they came out about how they're going to help arm Israel, all of that, they picked the side and they stuck there. And I think for her to distance herself right now, from Biden, we're not going to see that. I would say when she does, I'm saying when, because I'm putting it in the atmosphere, but when she does get elected, that's the important part. And I think that's what we need to focus on. Like, I hate to hear it though. Does it bother me when I hear her sitting there and saying this stuff? Man, it eats me alive. I hate it. But I'm like, when she gets in, when she talking about a ceasefire, whatever, I don't know. But when she gets in there, I want to see the action. I want to see her actually saving the people, of Palestine. I want to see that, like she said, because we already know how she feel about, Israel and October 7th and what happened there and Hamas. That happened. We're not saying none of those things didn't happen. We're not saying that there are no hostages, but we know the story already. Since then, there have been thousands of Palestinians murdered since then with the help of this administration. So I want to see what that's going to look like with her in office. I'm not talking about just sending food trucks. I'm not talking about the little humanitarian pauses. I'm not talking about that. I really want to see some action when it comes to saving the people of Palestine. So hopefully we see that.
I mean, she wouldn't even have to do anything dramatic. You can literally just abide by the international laws you're supposed to be by not providing weapons to a country doing war crimes. That's a thing, the whole law and order, like pastiche that they're going for.
Yeah, she's a prosecutor. Following the law should be her fucking bread and butter. This is the most brazen violation that we've seen of international law. So it's gross, and I'm not confident that she's gonna make a change if she's elected, because I feel like she should have given us a little bit more. Maybe it's possible. I think she'll be maybe easier to put pressure on and shame than Joe Biden to the extent that it actually matters materially speaking. I don't know. But it's just, it's really frustrating. And I think that you're all right. I think that she she's made a different calculation than us. She just doesn't think that this is going to hurt her. Or maybe she thinks she can win without Michigan, or that young voters are going to look past this. She may be right about that. It's just frustrating because, you know, you would want somebody to view a genocide in the way you view, like we view genocide. It doesn't matter that you're a politician. Like, I don't care if you're a politician or you're a fucking billionaire. You're a human at the end of the day who should see suffering and react accordingly. But these people are politicians. They're dead inside. They don't feel what we feel or care. So it's just all cold political calculations. And, you know, the only difference with Harris is the rhetoric. So it's frustrating, you know, but as Rebecca said, as soon as, like, on day one, there should be protests in front of the White House. Like, be on her ass the second she gets in there and make sure that she feels the fucking heat. Because you can't, I mean, you should do that anyway, honestly, with every president. It doesn't matter if you like them or not.
But
as
we
Obama has
haven't.
taught us.
That's the problem. We
Yeah.
haven't. And that's
Right.
that's why we have to make this an example. Do we love what's going on? Absolutely. I love the feels of this. It gives us hope. All of the things are here, but that does not, I don't want us to lose focus. When she gets in there, it's like we're gonna be on that ass. You know, about
it's
a
all
few
covered in
things.
blood for me now.
So
I'm not going to get tree pilled anymore. I'm not unburdened. I'm very burdened.
Yeah, the honeymoon is over for me completely too. The honeymoon's over, folks.
Yeah, no, I really no, I'm people get upset. I had somebody on Like It or Not last Saturday. They were like, it's very cringe because I'm never in the comments, but StreamYard wasn't working, so the comments was up. And I'm always in my comments, but I was in the full comments. And somebody was like, it's very cringe how Rebecca is like all up in Kamala's ass right now. I'm going to live there. I'm going to rent a house there, right? Penthouse with that on that ass. Because like with what we have going on, I know that this is going to be beneficial for my future from what it could look like under Donald Trump's presidency. I'm not voting for a Green Party. Right now we have no time. There's no time to go there, switch it, look at it. There's no options. I'm not going to play stupid and be on that with y'all. I'm not going to hotep it. I'm not going to uncommit. I'm not going to do anything. That's my business. Y'all do what y'all want to do, and I'm going to do what I want to do. At the same time, just because I'm loving what I'm seeing, I'm in the vibes right now. I'm hearing so much more from her than I ever had in her being the vice president. I'm seeing her stand up more as a leader, be just outside of just Black platforms. Like I'm seeing her really shine, her being a woman. All those things are beautiful and they're great. And I like that I can say that I'm all with it. And then I could be like, at the same time, you can't tell me that I can't hold her accountable just because I'm saying I love all these things. She's about to be president. I don't care who you are. We gonna be on that ass because what we have done is no matter in the past, we have to be real. We've done put these people and sat them down with the whole, oh my God, lesser of two evils, or like this is better, and then just thought that was gonna be great. No. We have to hold them accountable. That's what you do with your leader, especially when they campaign off certain policies or whatever, and they ain't even looking that way no more. You got to hold them accountable so that they know, damn, these people are really asking me to do stuff. Get it done. Or at least we know that you're trying. And that's what we need to do. So,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I mean, it's not to give hope, but like, we've been surprised before. I've been stunned by Joe Biden on labor.
That's
the
true.
fact that the NLRB has been incredible under Joe Biden, and like the union rates are way up under him. Like there are things can happen that you don't expect.
Yeah,
and
things that we weren't looking at.
Usually that's because of pressure. Like usually that pressure can do that. In the case of labor, there was no pressure on Biden to really be pro-labor, but he's been pro-labor. Or I don't even know if it's him, but it's whoever's around him, doing the work. They've been good choices. So
I think everyone should realize too that like this is something that profoundly upsets people who care about this issue. I mean, you should. I think just generally people should care about misery, human suffering, exploitation. From Congo to Sudan to Palestine. But like average everyday Americans, this is like every single time you see what the polling is for voters, it's always like the economy. jobs, those kind of things. They are not concerned with foreign policy. So that I think that voice does have to come from the left. I think that like they're the only ones championing those topics and trying to get like the U.S. empire to tone down.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. Like normal folks, like just working people. I wish they were more tuned in. If you tell them about it, they care and they're sympathetic, but they're just not following it as much as we are or as we'd hope that they are. And I think that Democrats are taking that into account, which is why they're not really taking it seriously, which sucks because it shouldn't be a political issue. You shouldn't have to, put your finger in and feel, which way the wind is blowing on a genocide. But that's the reality of the situation. We are an evil empire doing a genocide, one of many in our history. So, yeah, it's
a country
really
founded on genocide.
Reality. Founded on genocide, day one, baby. So this is our history.
Same with Canada. We're a colonial extraction project. We used to be owned by a company called the Hudson Bay Company.
That's right. That has turned into a place where you buy clothes.
Literally, yeah, and it still exists today.
Yes,
it's a clothing store.
It's a clothing store now. It's absurd. Let's do just a quick. How about something happy? This was a happy.
Yeah,
moment,
let's watch some
I mean,
more.
I haven't watched it, but it sounds like it might be happy. So let's find out.
A moment that you shared, that the world shared with your son Gus. You were speaking, the camera caught him, so incredibly proud of you, so emotional, saying, "That's my dad."
Yeah, I don't know as a father I could have ever imagined that. I'm grateful for so many reasons to be on this ticket, but that moment, to understand what was really important, to have my son feel a sense of pride in me, that I was trying to do the right thing. And
I can't believe the right attack this.
You try and protect your kids.
Yeah.
I teared up again watching that. I can't help
I know,
it.
it's
Every time I see that,
beautiful.
every time I see that clip, I tear up. It's wild.
It brings notoriety and things, but it was just such a visceral, emotional moment that I'm grateful I got to experience it, and I'm so proud of him. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of Hope. I'm proud of Gwen. She's a wonderful mother, and these are great kids. And I think the one thing is talking about the era we're in is our politics can be better. It can be different. We can show some of these things, and we can have families involved in this. And I hope that there was I hope people felt that out there, and I hope they hug their kids a little tighter, because you just never know, and life can be kind of hard.
Love that. I think that part of the reason why I feel still a little bit of hope is because of him. He's on the ticket.
Yeah.
He's like a regular good father. Good.
The fact that she picked him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is stunning.
She knew she needed that somebody who's untainted. His community loves him. His state loves him.
Very normal.
He's a
normal. Very normal person.
Yeah, and he has
looks like someone you could have a beer with.
Yeah, you probably can. He loves dogs, even if they're not his. And they, what I like the most with the Gus moment, because I'm gonna get to how to try to make it a whole thing. But what I love most about that, because for people who can relate, if they have a neurodivergent child or a nonverbal child, and having that moment just be there, it was specifically special to him. But for people who didn't even know that about his son, just seeing that, a proud son, and then learning that detail, and it's just like, wow, that's what love looks like. If you pour so much love into a child, and they're usually nonverbal, and cause them to get up and show that type of emotion, like that's what I think that's a good little commercial when they want to do campaigns and stuff, what America could look like, American families, love, just having that pour out. But what the right did, what they immediately,
like Ann Coulter,
they went and like
so
trash,
evil.
like insulting he's a child and insulting him. People were calling him Gus crazy. Who's a psychopath?
So many ableist slurs.
It was really bad.
Oh, yeah.
But the way that everyone, even if they were riding for Kamala or not, a lot of people were really riding for Gus. Okay, it's like, listen, we're his aunties online, and you try it because we're gonna ride. And you're just mad because in your broken home, you can't get your child together. You can't.
Exactly.
Now, you should want a leader like this who can help you afford what you need to get your child together, but you can't do that. You dealing with your child is too hard. You mad. You don't even like your child. So like, just
and they don't like you.
Yeah, they don't even like you. They posting all y'all Republican parents on TikTok every day, showing how racist y'all are, how y'all drunk. You don't have a good relationship with your kids. So they're online making all these things. And then somebody had said, but you guys, and then they showed like, you hate this, and they showed Gus, crying with emotion, overwhelmed with emotion and love. They showed how like, y'all hate this, Gus, and then they showed, but you love this, and it was Kyle Rittenhouse fake crying, and they support that, the fake crying.
You're not allowed to say that.
Yeah. Like,
people got so mad at that. Do you remember when they're like, "You're not allowed to mock him crying. This was trauma."
I remember. Like, how can you do that? He went through so much. He was fighting for America. Like, girl,
he's fighting for America.
It was so hard for him to kill those people. How could you mock him for that?
He shouldn't go down for that. He should get another chance. Meanwhile, somebody's selling a little weed on the corner.
To protect a car dealership,
years.
killed
like,
two
let's
people.
Be for real. Let's be for real.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't with these conservatives, but Rebecca, you're 1,000% right. It's total jealousy, because that right there is vindication that Tim Walz is a fucking amazing parent. That is what every parent wants to see. Their kid just love them and be proud of them. They know, like, these people making fun of him, that they can never achieve that because they've turned off their kids. Like, they're hateful, they're racist, like, they've strained that relationship.
You don't like your
forever.
kid because
they
your kid
rejected
is
their
gay.
kids.
Yeah,
or trans. That they don't have that relationship. So the fact that they see something that they can't have because they ruined it, like, it eats them away. So that's why they had that despicable reaction.
They don't know how to love.
I just gotta grab Chico. I'll be back in like 5 minutes. Sorry.
Okay. They don't even know how to love on their neurodivergent kids. They don't know how to pour into them. They're never with them. I'm pretty sure that you can see how Tim Walz is literally in his children's lives. He's about family. It's just not how Donald Trump, who we hardly see Melania. Well, I haven't seen that lady since.
Yeah.
Where's the son? What's going on there? Like, haven't seen him. She appears, I guess, when she's really, really forced to. We see so many times.
She released a book.
I didn't see that.
It's just a black cover with white text that says Melania. The book's just called Melania. It's an autobiography. It's like, you didn't put like a picture of yourself on the cover. Like, you guys have money. Like, that's like what I would do.
About?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I saw it on like the bestsellers when I was looking for new books.
You know it's gonna be on the bestsellers, but people gonna buy it up, and they're not gonna read it.
I should have seen a post from that if it like that just came out, and I've never seen any talk about this.
Let me Google that.
Yeah, it could be pre-order, so maybe it's not out yet. But I saw it like at the
but
top
I bet
of the
you
list.
it's on the bestseller already. Yeah.
Yeah, it will be.
It better be on the bestseller list. I didn't pre-order 100 copies for nothing.
Please.
That's normally what they do, though, right? Like they have these companies that buy up a bunch of pre-orders, like, oh, look at the bestseller list, and that's what Dave Rubin did, I think.
That's why they always give away those books.
So embarrassing.
It really
That's why they
does
always do those giveaways for the books. They buy them up and give them away.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so embarrassing.
Yeah, they make it to the list, and then they get some real sales.
Somebody wrote, look, now I'm looking at all these books. Somebody has a book called Melania and Me, The Rise and Fall of My Friendship with the First Lady. That sounds more juicy.
Oh,
that sounds better.
Yeah, right?
I'd watch that. There's some more
clips. Is there any more clips? Yeah, I want to see more clips for sure. We need palate cleansers after the
a lot of it
Israel
seems
portion.
really boring. Like Dana Bash is asking some boring ass questions.
Dana why did she
like,
get this
girl,
interview?
I don't really care for her. Like, come on, let's pick it up.
I don't either.
She's really bad. She's bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
She should have been fired after that Nazi comment comparing campus protesters to Nazis. Like, she should have been fired for that.
Oh, I mean, in that case, like half the fucking media should be fired.
Right. That's true.
Terrible.
Absolutely.
President Harris, you were a very staunch defender of President Biden's capacity to serve another 4 years. Right after the debate, you insisted that President Biden is extraordinarily strong. Given where we are now, Do you have any regrets about what you told the American people?
No, not at all.
What else was she going to say?
Not at all.
This is a stupid question.
Biden should get out of the race now. He's senile old man. Like, dumbass questions. Come on.
He has dementia. I need to be the one at the
Biden,
top of the ticket. Come on. They would attack her for that.
4 years now, and I'll tell you, it's one of the greatest honors of my career, truly. He cares so deeply about the American people. He is so smart and
Kamala, come on.
To the American people. And I have spent hours upon hours with him, be it in the Oval Office or the Situation Room. He has the intelligence, the commitment, and the judgment and disposition that I think the American people rightly deserve in their president. By contrast, the former president has none of that.
That's right. Change topics.
And so, one, I am so proud to have served as vice president to Joe Biden. And two, I am so proud to be running with Tim Walz, president of the United States, and to bring America what I believe the American people deserve, which is a new way forward and
New
turn the
president.
page
Who dis?
on the last decade of what I believe has been contrary to where the spirit of our country really lies.
But the last decade, of course, the last 3.5 years has been part of your
I knew she was going to say
administration.
that.
I'm talking about an era that started about a decade ago, where there is some suggestion, warped, I believe it to be, that the measure of the strength of a leader is based on who you beat down, instead of where I believe most Americans are, which is to believe that the true measure of the strength of a leader is based on who you lift up. That's what's at stake as much as any other detail
Michelle.
that we could discuss in this election.
That was a
though.
really great answer.
Good.
That was good.
That's good.
That was good.
It's good to not spend too much time talking about Joe Biden because I feel like people don't want to hear that. Like, Joe Biden was great, whatever.
Right.
Let's move on to how shitty Trump is and how shitty this past era has been. Let's move on from that was a good transition there.
And she
I want to talk about Joe Biden more. I miss hearing about NATO.
I like
Yeah,
that.
let's
I like
just
that
stay
she
away
answered
from
like
foreign
that.
policy completely.
It gave more so like she was like, next question, bitch. But it was like, hey, he was great, but this is what it's gonna look like, and it's gonna be totally different. And I like that she said it's gonna be totally different because it almost sounds like she wants it to be different than the Biden Harris, era administration, because we know it's going to be hard to really change from that. So we're still going to get something of that, but she's just like, no, expect something different, because basically she's saying the Biden Harris administration basically was just cleanup, and now we get to start putting in like some policy, doing some actual work, because we had to do a lot of cleanup from the previous 4 years. So that's what I heard her saying. Yeah.
And I think the hope is like Trump losing twice will be a proper all right.
It's over. It's done.
Like at that point,
And
I don't think the
era.
party wants Trump anymore. I don't think the party's going to improve, but it's Trump is not going to be. I can't imagine the Republican Party, at least the lawmakers, want Trump to be their figurehead still if he loses again.
Oh,
Do you
he's going
think
to
he
be
could
their
win a
figurehead
primary?
forever. He's going to run.
I
He's
think-
gonna, if he
I
loses,
think he
he's
could win
running
a
again.
primary again.
But for the voters,
He's
but I
gonna.
don't. Why would the party try to continue embracing
They got
him
no
when he's a fucking loser
choice.
twice?
They got no choice. Well, he's
What's
not a
he gonna do?
loser. He's not. That's the thing. He's already positioned himself amongst the Republican Party that he's not a loser. He's not the president because
he
he was
lost.
cheated. He was cheated. Now
But to
you're
what-
laughing
I
because
know,
it's
but
funny
you're-
for us.
No, but you're speaking.
But that's
to
how.
like
What the,
Yeah, but this is a
Until the
sliver of
election.
fucking people. Like, if once he loses twice, really is what?
they're already setting it
150
up.
million
They're
people
already.
are still going to be pro-Trump. Like, that's not. No, it's a sliver of
already.
people.
It's already set up. It's not fair that he's running against her. It was supposed to be Biden. They already have it set up. I'm being serious though.
Never underestimate the stupidity of America.
Yes, no. I guess you know what? You're right, Mike. I can't underestimate the stupidity of America because after
You
Trump
never
lost
know.
once, I would. After Trump lost once, I would think, I guess that's the end of Trump. Goodbye. And he's back again.
After staging a fucking insurrection, no less,
after
right?
stealing the election and or trying to steal the election.
When he
fake
went
slate
against
electors.
Biden, when he went against Biden in 2020, he was cheated out of it by different vote counting and ballot stuffing and all
But
this
he
stuff.
he tried to steal the
And
election.
then this time around, they've already set it up. He was going to win. He was already walking around like he was president after that debate. He's supposed
With
to
Joe
face
Biden.
Biden. And the Democrats subverted democracy by pushing Joe Biden out and installing Kamala. And it's not fair already. He's already saying that.
Yeah, well, it's fair for us. I'm glad that we had another option.
course,
But yes, he is definitely going to be pushing that. He's not he's not the only one already saying that. I've seen comments and threads, because I don't really be on Twitter, but I've seen threads saying that, and I get them off my timeline. But there are people who are trying to bring that up in conversation under different political videos, all that kind of stuff. They're like, well, she wasn't even supposed to be there, and now it's not fair. And I'm like, if he was ready, you have to, stay ready. So you got to get ready. Because if something would have happened to Joe Biden, right? Like somebody else would have been in place. Would Trump have been ready? He was so ready to win. He was so ready to be like, because it was all in his favor. But now things have changed. And I remember the first week, because we only been at this for 3 weeks now, whatever, for real. But I remember the first week, we didn't hear nothing for real from Donald Trump. It's kind of like he kind of disappeared trying to figure out his play now. Like, what can I do? They love her. He hates when somebody else is getting attention.
They were calling it a coup. Weren't they calling it a coup? And he was still trying to run against Joe
Biden.
Like coup,
yeah.
It was really, he was getting on his he tried, and nobody was paying attention to his tweets. Everybody was so focused on what she's going to say, where she's going to be next, what's going to happen, where the party at, who's representing her, who else is meeting up on damn Zoom. He didn't have that support. The same people that are writing for him, he didn't have that support. Them Zoom,
right?
They could have got on Zoom too. They didn't do it. They was still just they was just judging.
Republicans still are posting that picture of Trump holding his fist up after the assassination.
Oh my God, we don't even care about the assassination.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
What happened? I forgot about that. What was that about again?
And
that's exactly.
We don't give a damn. They trying to make us remember, and it's like, get that out of here. Then you see what I have to be into. Like, we don't even care. Like, this man was, and I stay right. I'm gonna stay right with what I said. I feel like, allegedly, an assassination attempt on him, and we collectively, as people, we were like,
allegedly.
We were
my favorite tweet that I saw about this was a Republican posted that tweet with the picture.
The fist.
It was like, how have we all moved on from this? It happened just 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago. And someone quote tweeted it with, yeah, right, buddy. Come on. I think I would have heard if there was an assassination attempt on a president.
That's funny. That's funny. Like, that is crazy that we really are like, yeah, no. Like, I'm hungry today. I really don't. Like, even the day it happened, I continued on. The world usually stops. Major news like that, wherever you are, the world, like, it stopped.
Well,
like,
it's because he was fine. Like, that, there was nothing much to talk about. Just like,
it was an assassination attempt. That's a big deal on a president, especially at this time, like, or on a former president. But
it's a big, yeah.
It's a big deal. We would have.
I mean, I'm shocked.
I think what changes who
moved
did
on
it
from it so quickly. Honestly.
I think it's the fact that a Republican did it. That a Republican loon who it could have been like at a school. You know what I mean? Like it could have been a different example of a shooting. So that I think they moved. Like I think if anything, they moved on because they couldn't really use it as a way to be like, look how dangerous Democrats are. Like they didn't know what to say anymore. Like you hear occasionally, I think a Fox News anchor did this recently, where it's like they tried to kill him. They won't say what they means,
and we're like, man, we trying to get
20-year-old.
We trying to get the groceries down. Like we trying to live. We trying to get health care. We trying to. I mean, yeah, they try to kill him. Okay, but no, it's really. I was looking at some of the details, like, because I was like, let me see what's going on with it. I saw that like the FBI agent or the Secret Service, the head of the Secret Service or whatever, was being investigated, and she has since resigned. And then like it was like a whole bunch of stuff. They're questioning people. This is happening right now. So like they're investigating. People are sitting before like whoever being asked questions. So we're just not like, we really aren't following it at all. But they're investigating this. They're asking questions. They want to see. I think they wanted to ask Donald Trump questions or something like that, whatever. But this past weekend, I was in Tennessee in west of Nowheresville. And for my best friend's birthday, I took a nice little drive. I needed the scenery was really nice. But there are places I made sure I didn't stop. It's only like a 2-hour drive or whatever. But went there, and everywhere I went, when I went down the back roads, there was not one home that I didn't see. Even the fire station had like Trump on it. Everywhere was just Donald. Those little backwoods, he makes sure he goes to those backwood places, those places in the middle of nowhere in these towns, whatever. He goes there and he makes sure he speaks to those people, and never come back. But he goes to speak to those people and they feel heard, they feel seen. They always remember that. And so those communities, I
think you're being too charitable. I just think they're fucking racist people. That's why.
They're definitely racist because they could.
Trump didn't show up there. I like him because he's fucking racist.
He showed up to like one backwoods place that wasn't even in these areas, but they felt seen, they felt heard, they felt like, okay, he's for us. But the fact that I seen it, like the police department, the fire station, every single home had that on there, like just Trump. I seen a truck coming in where they changed the whole truck around and it said like Trump truck. And it had the hat. They literally built a hat. Terrible. Like it was like you guys weren't even no art. You can tell they're not artists. You can tell there's no creativity. It's just they taped it on there and like a hat, a makeshift hat on the top, and it said "Make America Great Again" at the top or whatever. But it like people are really invested in Donald Trump in these towns, and it was like I went from town to town, and each one was the same. These are like sundown towns, but the place that we went, I had to go through a little back road to get up in there. And I just can tell the way that people were stopping and looking at us at the lake house. They just were like, they would just stare and like, why are these blacks here? Like that kind of vibe or whatever. But I just seen these are the people that support Donald Trump. You can tell. I was just imagining different things like, is there a child here that probably wants to identify, as LGBTQIA+? I wonder how they're living their lives here. I wonder about children who, have friends probably at their schools, or whatever that may be Hispanic. Because I saw a few Hispanics that were living like on the outskirts, but like I'm like, what is the living here for them? They're like, they're in Nowheresville.
They probably leave, right?
It's like, it's just, yeah, I think about that, but I think about what the arguments are like. So there's no love in those homes. And like, you would never see a Gus coming out of that home. You would never see that type of love or the way that Kamala Harris's stepkids love her, and call her Mamala. And they should be the only ones that call her Mamala. Drew Barrymore, absolutely not. Everybody else, absolutely not.
Yeah, no, I
don't bring that back. Just because some kids call her that. Don't you bring that back. But
Mike, do you feel called out?
I see that.
A little, yeah. Although
don't bring that back. Don't bring it back. Absolutely not. But especially knowing that her kids call her that. No, bring it back. But
can we call Nancy Pelosi Grandmamala still, as Emma Bigland coined?
Can we call Tim Walz Papala?
No.
Oh my God.
Not at all.
Mamala and Papala?
but I stopped somewhere there and I had on when I was leaving, I was like, let me just get some gas. I want to make sure everything is good, whatever. And I was leaving and I forgot that I had on my black, young, and what was it? Black, young, and whatever, but on my t-shirt, on my sweater, and black, young, and gifted. I forgot I had that on. I thought I was like, and then I had in my car, there's a big like little Haiti sign in the front. So I'm there looking like, what the hell is that? Like, why? They're driving in, they're looking at me. Man comes out of his car looking at me. I'm just trying to get gas. And then I'm realizing, oh shoot, my sweater says Black, Young, and Gifted. And they're like, they literally don't even get gas. They're standing like this. And I'm like, it's daytime. So nobody's going to hurt me. Nobody's going to do anything, like whatever. Baby, the way I said, I'm not filling up this, I'm out of here. I was 2 wheels in the air and I was out of there because like just seeing how it's so dark for people like us, like for Black folks. It's so dark going into them places. even y'all who just think differently, you know, being gay or just going out there and challenging them, like whatever the case may be, being actual fathers to your kids. Like, it's just like they would have a problem with just the way that you are. They are set on this cult-like belief about Donald Trump being their Lord and Savior. And I just hope that, I'm like, dang, y'all, they look miserable. Everybody looks zoned out. Everybody looks like, you know, it's terrible. I hate that for them. But these are the people that are going to be, I know when Kamala Harris wins, they're going to do the same thing that they did 4 years ago, or almost 4 years ago, when, if you go down to where I'm from, you know, West Palm Beach, right there on that Palm Beach bridge, every single day, them rich people over there on Palm Beach have stood there till this day. You can go there. They wake up bright and early and they're holding up the damn sign that Trump won the election till this day. And I don't want to see anything like January 6th happen, like the domestic terrorist attack that happened from the right. I don't want to see anything like that happen, but I know that they're not going to make it easy. Those people are really waiting for something. I saw one car.
Well, their pundits are riling them up too, right? Like,
Yes.
have you seen like Cat Turd and other people being like, a civil war is coming, we have to do something, rise up, and all that kind of stuff? It's like, you're not going to be on the vanguard. You're not going to be in the front line shooting people, Cat Turd. You're going to be in your mansion. Like Tommy Robinson was in his mansion.
The whistleblowing that they're doing, they're making sure, like that Project 2025, that intro video when the site was live. Is it still live? I don't know. But when it was, and you go on there and immediately you see the guy that was the face of it literally telling people to prepare and basically armor themselves, using that type of verbiage on there. And people are literally like, oh, let me make sure, like, because it's gonna basically preparing for war here. And I was like, see, this is problematic. Even at the RNC, when we were watching it and seeing how those losers went up there, like Hulk Hogan and all them, and then naming them now Trumpites, and like literally crowning them and riling them up for whatever is to come. And it sucks, but just seeing how dangerous it can probably get, because we've seen it already. This is not something that I'm making up or whatever. We've actually seen it already. It wasn't 300 or 400 years ago. It literally was just a few years ago, and then different instances that show that literally are a play from all of that, like January 6th and before. Like, this is Donald
One
Trump.
of them tried to kill Trump.
Right.
Like, that's
it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Are we gonna find out one day that like the there's high concentrations of lead in the water where there's like Trump supporters? Like, is there? I feel like there has to be some external factors to some of this shit, because I don't. I will never understand how some people just have completely lost their minds. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't have people like. Luckily, my family, I have no one I know who's that nuts. Like, I don't know people like this, so I don't understand them. It's very hard for me to understand how somebody can get like that.
I know
have
some
multiple family
anti-vaxxers. Yeah.
Yeah,
I have a couple of those, but
Trump
but that's
members.
not. But that's different to me than like a MAGA person, like just full on just loon like cult MAGA. Like that's like
Don't know
another
any
level.
flat earthers, I'm proud to say.
Same. Oh, well, I haven't talked to them about that, so actually I can't confirm that. But yeah, I have some Trumpers in the family. Actually, lots of Trumpers in the family. Like people, you know, they'll be like, "Oh, Mike, you're in a bubble. You're in a leftist liberal." I'm like, motherfucker, these are my family members. Are you serious? I'm in a bubble.
Do they know that you're like successful on YouTube? Are you ever like, I run the bubble, motherfucker? Like,
yeah, some of my MAGA family members want to come on my show. I'm like, nope.
Oh, really?
You should do it. You should do it.
No.
Yeah, bring them.
He doesn't want to destroy their lives. Like,
I'm not. No, yeah, they're family, so I won't unleash the internet on them. They don't know how to use computers, so you know they need me. But no, that's not gonna happen. But yeah, it's. I live with these people. I don't live with them, but like, you know, I live with them. You know what I mean? We see them from time to time at barbecues and on Thanksgiving, and it's always very awkward. Also have some, you know, some very, very like Libby people as well, and sometimes those conversations are very, we'll say awkward. right? Because I'm not a liberal. they think I'm an extremist. So, that's family. That's family.
Yeah,
But
it is.
Rebecca, you brought up Hulk Hogan, and I don't know if you all saw this. There's a video of Hulk Hogan getting trolled. Did you see this, Lance?
I wanted to share it with Matt Binder immediately. I can't believe
I was gonna say,
as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, I gotta send this to Matt. This Matt is gonna love this.
Yeah, he's in like a grocery store, and somebody trolls him.
Hell
yeah. Look at the shirt, the MAGA powers. We're going to destroy the woke. What are they going to do when we drop the big boot on trans and we drop the big boot on everything? We're going to drop the big boot on Social Security. Does that work for you, brother? Trump is a real felon. Then he went to Epstein Island. Trump, no physical, no political violence. No political violence. No political violence, though.
Oh my gosh.
Now
crazy doing more than all them.
He's doing the Real American song too. That was great.
I know. I was like, there's layers to it.
No, he had that.
Also, there's a little inside thing there when he says, "Does that work for you, brother?" There's a common phrase because Hogan was known for turning down putting other guys over. So when a storyline was brought to him, the thing that people always say that Hogan would like look at it, see that like he'd have to like help like by taking the pinfall for someone else to help make them a big star, and he'd be like, "Oh, that doesn't work for me, brother." So that was the little inside joke there. Yeah.
Wow. See, I didn't get
Folks,
that one.
follow Robbie Road Steamer if you like that video. I just browsed this timeline. Seems like he has some funny shit. Lots of trolling. So very cathartic to watch. That shit was funny. He out crazied Hulk Hogan. That's how it's done.
The MAGA.
Oh, did you see his
What
face?
helps is that guy definitely looks like your quintessential MAGA guy. Like he has the absolute.
That's what they look like. It's
he doesn't look like a lib trying to be a MAGA guy. He looks like a MAGA guy.
Sounds like one too.
They have a
Hey,
look,
brother.
and we can't they have a look. And that's the extreme MAGA. So there's the levels to it too. Like if you really like the extreme KKK white nationalists, you got to go all in. That's what they look like.
There's like an evolution scale, right?
There
like,
is.
You know, the evolution, the evolution scale, but like there's a Trump version of that too.
Yeah, there
where the
is.
final
But
form is
don't
like
get it
this hunched
twisted.
over a 90-year-old with a hat.
Yeah, don't get it twisted. Your doctors, lawyers, all of them. I started seeing them flip, and they started like by day they look like the blue collar folks, but by night they out there just like in their hoods or with the little horns, whatever that means. They want to be like the little horn situation that we saw on January 6th and all that other stuff. Like, I
That guy
don't know
reminded
what
me of
that
that
means
guy.
with the fur and like it just I don't know, but you're gonna see a lot of
Jokes
that.
on them. We don't have
I will say
doctors in America. None of us have health insurance. No, I'm just kidding.
MAGA powers is pretty ingenious. I'm surprised Hogan hasn't worked out something with Trump to make that a real thing. MAGA powers is a great play on words.
It's so sad. Like, and then now the
Hell yeah,
American
brother.
flag will forever be associated for me with them. Like there's nothing good about it. On July 4th, it's just a great day off. But other than that, there's nothing. Like when I was just riding down there, I'm like, every home. Like I love that the lake house that we were at didn't have any American flags on it. But everywhere else had damn American flags all over it. And I just felt like those places were unsafe. That's crazy. Like, that's what I think Kamala is trying to say. If we can make America feel great again, for real, for Americans, all Americans, whatever you look like, whatever you believe, whoever you love, whatever. But if we can make it feel like home for the people that it's home to, like that's what we're trying to do. Even if it's a little bit, like just some kind of change, because what Donald Trump has done, the separation, the division, the hate, the murders, how we see each other, how we talk to each other, just because of what you believe or what you look like. It's really, I know that we need something different, because just looking and remembering what it was like to live through that. Like you said, we ain't got no health care. The thing about the tax cuts and all that, people felt like they got a few dollars on their check more, but then couldn't understand why I'm paying more, when it comes to getting my income tax or like all that stuff. Like nobody really gets it. They just like what they heard and how shiny, it gave. Like the superstar is our president and he's funny. But is it funny when you can't feed your child? Like, is it funny when you can't afford groceries? You can't pay for housing? Is it funny when you can't get healthcare for yourself? Like, it's not funny no more. It never was.
I love how like somebody making like $35,000 a year working at McDonald's, like frustrated about the capital gains taxes potentially going up. Like, I can't believe they would do this to me. Not realizing like my brother in Christ. That doesn't affect you. The wealth tax and
Mike,
shit.
it discourages them from becoming a billionaire. See, when
one day,
all they need is that encouragement. With capital gains.
I love when I see that though. Like,
they'll do it.
Family members talking about, oh my God, the taxes are going up. I'm like, oh, honey, you're not even close to being in that bracket. I promise you, you're gonna be okay. All right.
It's not
you probably qualify for the earned income tax credit. You're in a completely different
popularize
bracket.
that idea because it's really fucked up to me that people like don't want to go after billionaires. There's not a lot of them. It won't affect any of us, right? Like they're the only dangerous minority. Right. Let's go after billionaires.
It's because
fucking
any of us could be one. Maybe one day I'll.
That's true.
Be a billionaire.
The lottery of life. I better suck up to them for the rest of my life.
It ruins my dreams when I go to sleep and imagine being a billionaire if they're coming after me. So please don't go after them. I need those dreams.
Yeah, that propaganda is strong. Like it's embedded in our heads as little kids.
Yeah.
The American dream. We could be billionaires one day too. No, actually, statistically speaking, you are more likely to get hit by lightning twice than to become a billionaire. You're more likely to get bit by a shark. I promise you, you're not going to be a billionaire. Not going to happen. Sorry, but it's not going to.
Thanks for killing my dream.
And if you are one, we'll take all your money. So.
Yeah, we're coming for those assets, so don't be a billionaire. There's no good billionaires.
It is super chat time.
Woo! Well, y'all know what's up. I'm out of here. But two people did. Oh, and for everybody who was looking for my latest episode of Shades of Good News, I did post that I had. See, it was all cute, right? When I was over there in Tennessee enjoying the views, and then boom, allergies turned into allergic reaction. My eye, man. This one, I mean, I have puppy eyes anyway, but
when were you in Tennessee again?
Where was I in Tennessee? Baxter.
When were you in Tennessee?
This past weekend, Friday, Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. My whole eye was done for. Then I had little rashes and stuff. It just got crazy.
Dang,
but my eye, so I can't even post some of the pictures because my eye is like this and it's so swole. And then it was black and blue, and I've never had.
What happened? You know what happened?
Like an allergic reaction. I think it was allergies that turned into allergic reaction for real.
I'm telling you, it's the water. Poison in the water
anything.
there in those places.
Anything. But
did you feel yourself hating the gay more?
It was so bad. It was so bad. And then like I tried to like, put a little makeup on, and then it got crazy. So then I had to like really be barefaced, which is fine, but it just started getting really bad. It was itching. I couldn't itch it. We couldn't leave to go to any stores for real. Because when we were out at sundown, we were like speeding up, but it's like a one-way going in. So we had to really be like, I don't know, but it was a great getaway. But we had to be really careful. But I think I got bit by something, and then it got super ridiculous. So I literally just went down. I had to come back. I'm like, I got to go to the hospital. I'm about to die. I felt like it was all the things, anxiety. So then I just kind of like, I get crazy with it. So I put like a compression on there, and then I had like medicine that I got from the store over the counter. And then, but yeah, my eye was messed up. So the episode will be coming out this weekend. But I didn't want to read while I'm in the blackout. In the blackout, I'm going to read the people who did send the cash up to me during the show. Carly, thank you so much for your love. And who said thanks for always being a ray of sunshine. Thank you, even though I'm blacked out right now. And then I want to say Miss Scott, because I don't want to get your first name wrong. Thank you, Miss Scott, who said, for the struggle. Girl, it's the struggle. But thank you so much. Love you, mean it. All right, y'all. I'm out. I'll see you guys next Thursday, okay?
Yeah, Rebecca, by the way, I love your show. Everybody needs to go watch her show. It's so uplifting.
Yeah,
like, if all the
it is very
doomerism
positive.
is making you depressed, watch her show. It's so good.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. You're making me smile. I'm smiling right now. So, bye, y'all.
Take care.
All right. I only got 3, so I'm just going to run through them and go to bed because I got to wake up early tomorrow. So, Caillou Damon. Where are you, Caillou Damon? Been a hot minute since I gave... No, that's the wrong one. That's a different... That's a different one. Where is this? Oh, it's early. Thank you for the $4.99. David, that Claire Obscure Expedition 33 trailer is insane. First saw that trailer on Threads, and I love turn-based RPGs. What do you think about the game? I think it looks really good. I'm trying not to watch too much now because I think I'm kind of already sold on it. We'll see about reviews, but it looks real good.
Yeah.
Definitely on my alley. I will most definitely check it out. Tyler, where's Tyler? Tyler Newstead, thank you for your $5. Why would I stop watching this to go watch an interview by Dana Bash? I'd much rather Dana bash my head against the wall. Well, we brought you the clip, so I hope you didn't bash your head against the wall. And A85 Ramos, if I can find. Here it is. Thank you for your super chat. Foolish of you, Lance, to think U.S. banks don't see us as prey. We're the most desperate and know so little about APR and how and when to pay back.
It's less that I don't think banks are fundamentally evil and predatory. I do. It's that in Canada, that like it's about the cost weight analysis to them. Like the idea there's so much heavy regulation on the banking industry in Canada that it's not in their best financial interest to try and just exploit the poor and hope for bankruptcy. Whereas like they'd want people to be paying small amounts of money for 25 to 30 years, right? And getting lots of people to do that is more what they're going after. But yeah, I mean, like a lot of the problems that led to the 2008 financial crisis seem like a lot of that kind of predatory loan behavior, and then coalescing loans together that can be sold off to third parties. Like
in Canada, we were not as impacted by the 2008 crash as the US was. Like I don't think even close. There's still an impact.
Yeah, there wasn't like the 10,000 people losing their homes.
Yeah, that didn't.
Where like just thousands of people.
Just more heavily regulated here. The banks are. But. All right, I am going to bed. Good night, everybody. Thank you for
take care, David.
Everyone for watching, and I'll see you next week, I believe. Unless maybe I can't do next week. I'll let you all know later. But goodbye.
Okay. Have a good night. We'll see you around.
I only have a couple ones too. Could I read them off? But then, unlike David, because I love you guys, I'm still gonna stay around for a little bit.
Oh well, of course. Well, since you're staying, we'll let you read them. Otherwise, we would make you wait all the way till the end.
It'll be really quick. A85 Ramos, thank you for the $5. The Dems have now failed in making the narrative be that DT is the end result of what Republicans will always end up as a result of their policies. It's true. That their messaging hasn't been great there. Thank you, Charlie Jinmir, for the 6 months. Evan from Portland with the $5 dono says, I wake up every day hoping my autistic 13-year-old son reacts like little Walz to me. Absolute hero. It's on my motivational mix now. Oh my God. Now
wow.
Now I'm like, that's very cute.
Awesome.
I'm very happy for you. James Nordhoff with the $1.99. There's a Trump store in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. A Trump store. Cool. And hey, good to see you, Political Poppy. No message too early for the brain. Nice to catch Leftist Mafia live, though. From Finland, everybody. So say hi to Finland. Watching
Very cool.
Watching Leftist Mafia.
Hell yeah.
Take it away.
All right. So it's between me and Matt now. Without further ado, this first one is for me from Ryan Chan. $5. Thank you so much. Would you guys interview David Kim, California 34, and Preston Norrie, PA 16, pro-Palestine progressives. David only lost by 2% to Jimmy Gomez in 2020. Yeah, I actually interviewed David Kim in 2020. Great candidate. Not familiar with Preston. Possible. I'm not sure. I feel like bringing candidates on this show might not be the best idea. I used to bring on candidates all the time. I'm not sure if I'm going to start doing that again. I'll think about it though, for sure. I think that the problem with bringing on progressive candidates is it kind of gives people the impression that all it takes to like win a local election is to get on lefty media. Not with like these, like David Kim is a serious candidate, but a lot of people kind of like run just to kind of get like clout, I think. And that's not what running is about. Like, you really need to build a connection to the community, and coming on Leftist Mafia or one of our shows doesn't help you do that. Like, maybe you find people from your community that might want to sign up, but our platforms and our reach just aren't big enough. So I've been debating what's the most effective way to help these kinds of candidates, be it interviews or trying to promote them in other ways. So I'm not sure, but I'm open to it for sure. The next one here for me from A85 Ramos, $5. Thank you so much. As a DACA recipient, I'm obviously horrified of the rhetoric from Donald Trump, but Kamala Harris gives me no confidence that her party would be that welcoming either. Yeah, I will say that for sure, I feel you. It's really frustrating to see Kamala Harris shift to the right on issues like immigration and the border wall in particular. I think that is a really bad sign. The Democratic Party, they have the ability to successfully counter message. We've seen it before. They just haven't been doing a great job on immigration, to put it mildly. And they've also, I would argue, they haven't been doing very good on trans rights. We've seen so many rights taken away at the state level, and I don't think they're doing enough to push back against the attacks, even on like queer people, like the whole groomer narrative. Like, we saw minimal pushback. So they've got to get better, and they need to fight. And but yeah, I feel you, Ramos. Like,
you're picking your enemy
bleak right now,
is what you're doing. I don't, like, as a lefty,
exactly.
I don't have any real representation, but in politicians, you know, like, occasionally there's like, you know, ones that run in local elections that I really can get behind, but for the most part, I feel like you're picking your enemy, and I'd rather not be on nightmare mode is kind of my view.
Yeah, I mean, look, to the extent that you hate Democrats as leftists, we're always going to hate Democrats, right? But the one benefit of Democrats is that, like, they are standing between fascists and power. So that is a real material benefit, you know, stopping fascists from getting power. And I will never tell people that that's, like, not good, because it is good. It's very good. This one is for Matt.
Is it? Let's see. Tokyo Hans with a super chat. Vance with root beer? At least Obama would drink real beer. Right. Yeah. I'm surprised they're not going with that.
Yeah.
No one's mentioned that.
Another one.
His answer to that was so weird. Yeah, are you the kind of person who you could have a beer with? Well, that made me angry at the Democrats and what they've done to Americans. Like, no, just be like, yes. like, you can do a Kavanaugh. Be like, I like beer. I still like beer. There you go. That's better than whatever the fuck was coming out of your mouth.
Yeah, it's so fucking weird.
Bay Photo with a super chat. Sorry, Leftist Mafia, but the Queen Kamala interview is on CNN. Peace. I said I can't imagine there being anyone in our audience who isn't that. But there you go. I guess there is at least one.
Just kidding, Bay Photo. We love you. Another one for you.
We got a lot. Pinkerbell with a membership super chat, member for 9 months. Thank you, Pinkerbell. So is JD Vance grown in a lab, or is he an alien in a skin suit trying to mimic human behavior?
The
I mean,
latter.
I feel like if you would, I feel like if you would grown JD Vance in a lab, you would you'd perfect what you were going for and not get whatever that is.
Yes, good.
Wanda with $4.99. Thank you, Wanda. Nice to see you as always. The guys owe you an early night. They left you all alone last week with the super chats. Last man standing. I was with you until the end. Hell yeah, Wanda. Yeah, it was last week, right? Where I was by myself after.
It was just the two of us, because David Dole just completely ripped out, and then Binder joined for a little bit, and then I was like, all right.
Hey, yeah,
right.
you gotta give me credit
on your vacation, no less.
On my
walking around Disneyland
from the hotel with the big old statue of Baloo behind me. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it was.
That's probably
it was
something
very
you're not allowed
weird.
to do. They're pretty strict about that kind of stuff. Yeah, you're probably not
Yeah,
allowed
you
to
could-
do a
there's
live
people-
broadcast.
There's people who do live stream walkthroughs of Disney World.
Okay.
It's actually the other
okay.
day I was looking for something. I don't remember what, but I happened to come across someone who was doing a 12-hour long live stream, riding the same ride at Disney World over and over again for 12 hours, and it was literally just a live stream of them doing that. Yeah.
Why?
People do weird things, man. People do weird
Disney
things.
adults are such a weird subset of humans.
They
you know, like the
are.
ones like I'm not saying that you can't enjoy the magic of the Disney films and all that later in your life. I'm sure, especially once you have kids, right? Like you start to appreciate them even more.
Oh,
But
yeah, I love
the
it. I
adults
love it, but
who like buy
there's a
property and shit like that. Yeah, it's
There's a
weird.
difference.
I
It's
don't
so
get
strange.
I'm cool with like adults liking cartoons because I do, but the Disney stuff is just there's something about Disney adults. It's like, why do you like Mickey and Minnie? Like, I don't get it. They don't do shit. They're like barely in any movies. Like, I don't know.
Whoa,
I
hold
don't
on,
get
buddy.
it too.
Hold on.
I don't get it
whoa,
too.
whoa, hold on, buddy. You should check out the Mickey Mouse cartoon that came out a couple of years ago. It's like the most recent one. It's really good. It's
Oh,
like
okay. Well, I was
it's like
thinking like
it's
when we grew up.
Yeah, but like the new one, it's like
don't know if I
Mickey
can do
Mouse
it.
and Friends meets Ren and Stimpy. It's pretty fantastic. It's really good.
Oh, okay.
Wait,
well,
meets
hey,
Ren and
maybe
Stimpy? It's a crossover.
Yeah, no. It's like the Mickey Mouse characters in the style of a Ren and Stimpy.
That's interesting.
It's like
gotcha.
Mickey Mouse, Goofy, Minnie, those guys, but it's like with the bizarre, gross out close ups and the weirdness, and there's some adult humor in there for the parents or just adults if you're watching. It's good. It's good.
Yeah, I will add a caveat that even though I don't understand it, if you get joy from it and you're a Disney adult, no problem. Like I don't judge you at all. We all like weird shit sometimes. I like anime. Well, I like One Piece, but like, if it makes you happy, it makes you happy.
While there were 3 separate occasions where someone noticed me from no,
really
noticed like from the YouTube. Yeah.
Did they take pictures?
While waiting. No, none of that. That's happened to me before, but not at Disney World. There was someone who, while I was waiting on the line for the Frozen ride in Norway in Epcot, someone was like, "You look so familiar." YouTube, and I'm like, "Yeah," and he goes, "Majority Report with Sam Cedar." I'm like, "Yeah, that's me."
What? Not the
yeah.
Leftist Mafia? What the fuck?
No, it was all Majority Report related. No one,
Yeah, well,
no one knows us.
Yeah. Okay, next one is from Just Chosen randomly, $2 Canadian. Thank you. Me joins TLM. Lance. Oh, speaking of perverts, Mike.
Good. Perfect
That's
timing.
amazing. This one's for you, Matt.
Wanda with a super chat. Welcome back. You were missed. I appreciate it, Wanda. Thank you. I mean, I really I didn't even miss a full week because I did my own stream the week I left, and then the following week I popped up on here. So you actually, if you watch all my stuff, you actually did not go a full week without me, even though I was supposed to be on vacation for a week and a half.
That's dedication. Okay, this one's for you.
Kuya Damon with a super chat. Been a hot minute since I gave Daddy Binder a super chat. Vibe check question. It's probably not a good sign that a presidential candidate is now selling NFTs in 2024. I mean, I love it. I thought that ad I did see it. It is great.
It was
my
hilarious.
my favorite part.
Yeah.
I mentioned this on my stream earlier this week. My favorite part is he's talking about the NFTs. I love how he's like, yeah, these digital collectibles of me doing random shit. But then he goes, and if you buy the whole collection, we'll send you a real trading card, which is basically him saying all that bullshit, that digital bullshit you just bought is fucking fake as shit.
You bought a JPEG.
Oh, but it's great that I didn't know this was a thing because I'm not a sports trading card guy, but I was invited to a event by the big sports memorabilia live streaming sales app, like people do like Whatnot it's called, and people do like eBay but live stream eBay to sell their sports
Whatnot.
their sports memorabilia. I thought it was cool. But while I was there, they did a live unboxing of like one of those like premium baseball card sets, and I didn't know this was a thing, but they like the super like rare cards now come with a piece of the player's uniform, like the fabric from the uniform embedded in the card. And depending on what the uniform from what game it was, or even what part of the uniform you get, Like if you could see like the actual like team logo on it is obviously worth more than if you just get some random like blank piece of fabric. But that's part of these like rare cards. And so Trump is out there doing that with his card. The real physical Trump card, if you get the whole digital card set and you get that that special edition real physical Trump card, it comes with a piece of
his hair.
The suit he wore while debating Joe Biden. It comes with a piece of, and he calls it in the ad. He says people are calling it the knockout suit.
Oh my god!
They're borrowing from that. I thought that was crazy.
Absolutely, positively guaranteed to go up in value. Not a guarantee.
But the real question is, would he include some with like a bloody ear bandage? Because that would probably sell a lot. Like people would like do seances with his blood. They would try to do miracles.
That's so true.
Like literally, like I'm not joking. Like they literally would.
No. Yeah, I know. It's not a bit. That would actually.
Yeah. Like people would spend millions for that if they had it.
Buy the whole NFT set, and you get a real physical Trump card. Printed with the blood from my ear from the fateful day where I was shot in the ear.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you got girls selling bathtub water and farts in a jar, somebody would buy Trump's ear blood. No fucking question about it.
People were using it as vape juice. That's how far people will go. The bath water, I mean. So Trump can do it.
We live in a strange world, so yeah.
We do live in a strange world. I'm not going to kink shame, but someone actually vaped the bathwater. So yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
I will give it.
Like imagine buying a fart.
You get a bottle of the sweat from my brow.
Your fart will arrive in 4 to 6 business days.
That's
like yes, my fart.
Weird. That's so fucked up.
I people really think about that. Like. Somebody sold fucking farts, literally.
Yeah, someone sold farts.
And it was like my first thought was like, man, she's fooling all of them. Like, of course she's not farting. No, she actually got sick because she was eating so much shitty food, so she would have gas, so she could sell farts. It's like, I'm sorry. What is like when a comment comes?
Yeah, people are gonna feel ripped off if it's just like a can of air. I paid for fart. I demand fart. I spent my hard-earned dollars on fart. I got ripped off.
You got so many people that have never been credited for their amazing inventions. And then you get people get rich off of selling fucking farts. It's a cruel world.
I don't know. I think they're just industrialists under capitalism. They're winning at the game. We're the suckers.
That's true. Expert capitalists. Okay, I think this one is for you as well, Matt. Yeah. This one is for you too. The next couple are for you, actually.
All right, let's do this. Bay Photo with a super chat. RFK Jr. Turns out the 3 healthy meals a day for all America is too expensive. We're putting you all on an intermittent fasting. And then we got Foresto with a super chat. My coworker told me about a conspiracy making the rounds on 4chan. That Tim Walz got arrested for drinking horse semen around the time of his DUI. Oh yeah, the right tried to make that a thing. Like how after he made the couch joke, they tried really hard to make it a thing where like Tim Walz drank horse semen. But see, the thing is, like, the couch thing is funny because like it actually comes from like a real, like, a joke that wasn't trying that hard, that like it just naturally organically took off. And then the right went like over the top.
And proved how weird they were.
It was funny because it was believable. It was funny because, like, I can see that he does look like a dude who fucks couches. All right, I get it. And the real stories are way worse. Like his actual stories, the like, you know, the dolphin rape porn shit that he was posting, the fucking tracking menstruation apps that he wants to implement, his actual policies is like, you know, like he's way grosser. You wish he was a couch fucker. Is what I think, you know, like that would be the most wholesome thing about him, is that he fucks couches.
If we could trade like his opposition to like exceptions for rape and incest for him just being a couch fucker, I'd say I'll do that immediately. I'll press
Any
that button.
given day. Yep.
Yeah. Next one for you.
This
one and another.
Here we go. That's not for me, actually.
Oh, this was for David Dole. Okay, so one more for you then before we get to one for me.
Argonian Bum with a $10 super chat. $10. Wow. Thank you, Argonian Bum. I appreciate that. I went a little bit Trump there, actually. Lies from Tim Walz. In 2017, Tim was reportedly at a friend's house and said, "Welp, I gotta head out," but stood on the porch to chat for another 75 minutes. Which is it, Tim? Do you gotta head out or not? Oh, I do that all the time. Not 75 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, great hangout, guys. Gotta head out. And I'm like at the door, holding the door open and get involved in another conversation. I'm standing there for another 45 minutes. You know, that happens.
That's so much better than the people who just ghost and disappear without telling anyone. Because it's just like, it's easier.
Yeah, I can't Irish exit. It makes me feel bad.
Yeah.
Okay, Miguel Salcado, $5. Thank you so much. Wanting to say this for a while. After Corey and Bowman lost, I changed my position on sore loser laws. We should always run independently in blue areas. I mean, if it's a situation like that, for sure. Although I like Matt's idea of Bowman primarying Richie Torres and Corey Bush potentially doing the same again with Wesley Bell. I think that would be the better way to go, because if Bowman were to beat Torres, which he could do in a primary, that would be the sweetest victory ever. It would make all the pain of him losing worthwhile, in my opinion. Okay, so this next one is going to be for you, Matt.
I hope he's working on a campaign there, because I really do think he's got a chance. I don't know enough about
the voter
Corey
turnout
Bush's...
for that election for Jamal Bowman was ridiculously low. Like, it's also one of those things where I think just like straight up apathy is destroying a lot of, like, candidate runs, essentially.
Oh, for sure. Okay.
This one's from me. Yep. Kowalski with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Kowalski. The dog segment reminded me that I had to bury my brother's dog yesterday morning. Got hit by a semi. Not the best way to spend 7 o'clock. I prefer coffee. R.I.P. Tex. Press F to pay respect. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that,
Kowalski. Yeah, F's in the chat, everyone. Man, rip Tex. That's so sad. I'm sorry to hear that too. Man. Okay, let me see where we're at. Yeah. Okay, Bitey Face Puppy Guy, $10. Thank you so much. Is there a risk that right-wing billionaires could try to crash the stock market to disfavor the incumbent party? I mean, if they do that, they're kind of fucking themselves over, right? I think that, rat fuckery is an inevitability in any election. People are going to try to do what they want to do. I mean, it's, look, it's certainly a possibility. I think that my biggest fear is Netanyahu trying to really get the United States more entrenched somehow in a war. How far he's willing to go, I don't know. He's invaded the West Bank.
He's tried multiple times.
I'm scared.
Did you see that post that AIPAC made where they're basically saying that the U.S. has to join Israel in defeating Iran and stuff like that? Where I was like it's really scary if you're actively trying to pull the U.S. into an actual regional war there. Not that it's not.
Yeah, the party that does war with Iran will be unviable for a very long time. It'd be worse than Iraq, because, I mean, that would be, if you think Iraq was a bloody war, a war with Iran is very serious. Like, I can't tell you how disastrous that would be. So if Biden were to get dragged down by that, it would destroy the party. It would destroy the countries, more importantly, but, it can't happen. It just can't happen. But something like that worries me the most. I think a more realistic situation, because I don't even know if Israel wants to really go down that path, but I could see them feasibly getting into a hot war with Lebanon, invading South Lebanon. The fact that they invaded the West Bank alone, I feel like we're not really emphasizing how insane that is. Not that they haven't already been occupying them, but to actually wage an assault on the West Bank, that is fucking insane. It's insane. So that situation really worries me the most, because already Netanyahu's working against Biden. He wants Trump to win. So I don't know, man. That's what I'm watching. but there's a lot that can happen.
Stop delivering them weapons. Look what they're doing with it.
Right.
Cut off all of it. Stop it. Like,
yeah. The fact that he won't even condition aid, let alone cut off the fucking weapons. We just live in such a bizarro time. Okay,
which you're obligated to do under international law.
Yeah, which he says he cares about, of course. Lizzie Bennett with $5. Thank you, Lizzie. I love my Leftist Mafia, but unfortunately, I won't be watching live. Checking out the Caribbean Music Awards with the hubby at King's Theater. Hell yeah! You know what? I don't blame you for missing. That sounds more fun. Undead Comrade with $5. Thank you. Where Trump says he will be a dictator on day one, I promise to usher in the dictatorship of the proletariat. Kamala Harris, day one promise. Fuck yeah.
I wish she was as cool as like Republicans made her out to be.
Right.
Honestly, how are they still falling for that line? Because I was told that Barack Obama was a full-thrown Marxist, communist, socialist, and he was going to usher in communism. And apparently Joe Biden was too. He was a Marxist, communist, socialist who was going to usher in communism. It still hasn't happened, as far as I know, though. Right? Like,
we are still communist? Very much capitalist. No. And we also were told by many people. I can. Lots of people in my real life were very confident.
Many people
that
are
Obama,
saying. Many people are saying.
If Obama won, he was going to take their guns.
That's
never
right.
happened.
And he didn't take all the guns. He doesn't have every single gun.
We have more guns than ever. Everybody has guns.
Oh, wild.
Grandmas have guns. Grandpas have guns.
As
kids have
they
guns.
should. As is their constitutional right. Children should have guns.
Yep.
More guns.
It's funny you say that, Mike. Obama knocked on my door just the other day, and he took my gun. That's why I don't got any guns.
Well, so it happened.
Speak for yourself.
The amount of people that would say it, customers, when I was in, customer service at the time, they'd say it. And they'd bring it, I'd hear them say it. They'd bring it up to us. It was a big, we're in Oregon. We're in Blue Oregon, right? It was a big thing. They really thought that the guns were...
I saw gun sales spiked under Obama because of that. Because they were all legitimately terrified he was going to take their guns away.
Yep.
I mean, if that was in part due to marketing from the NRA, I gotta, say
brilliant.
That's wow. What a way to sell shit.
Look, I got a photo. I got a photo of it on my Ring camera, my Ring doorbell. This was Obama on my doorstep last night. He was
coming for your guns.
Yeah, he was knocked on my door. He rang the doorbell, and there he was. I got him on caught on camera.
Okay,
you got him.
There we go.
What's that called? Ring, the Ring camera app.
Yep. Yep. He left with my gun.
Okay, so we've got one from 180K Chan, $5. Thank you. You think the stunt pulled on the people registering people to vote in Texas is going to backfire on and cause more people to register in Texas? It's really hard to say. I don't know, honestly. I think that the fact that they purged 1 million people from the rolls, that's serious rat fuckery. And it kind of tells us that
revenge voting.
They were worried. Yeah. I mean, look, the best we could hope for is backlash to any of this voter suppression. But Democrats have to have the infrastructure in the state to build up the registrations and build up more than they need. Like Stacey Abrams, I have my criticisms of her, but what she did in Georgia should be the model. She didn't win her gubernatorial race, but she laid the groundwork to literally change the state blue. That can happen in Texas, but it's just a matter of how much Democrats want to invest. I don't know.
Things like early voting, as well as expanding access to voting, does not benefit the right wing. That's the reason they attack it. It's the reason they try to gerrymander. It's the reason they try to do voter suppression. It's the reason they say they don't want people who have criminal records to vote. It's the reason they make it so hard for Indigenous people who might not have set addresses to vote. That because it doesn't directly benefit them, and that's one of the reasons why they're so aggressively going after it all the time.
Yeah.
Or it benefit them as much, I should say. It's not like every mail-in voter, doesn't vote for, Trump or something, but yeah.
Right.
More people voting is a good thing. Look at Australia.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a joke. Australia's politics have been pretty fucked for a while. They've been pretty conservative for a long time.
I used to point to Australia as the model because they have compulsory voting for those who don't know.
Compulsory voting. That's true.
And it's good that more people vote. Australia is going through some stuff right now, but that's okay. You know, we're praying for them, and
at least they're
gonna find
libs.
Jesus.
They got a liberal government after a while,
Mhm.
but yeah,
Mhm.
more people voting is good. More people doing democracy is good. It's like
For sure.
orgies.
For sure, yeah. This is for you, Matt.
Oh, Tokyo Hans with a super chat. Vice President Binder, what will you do in your first day of office? Binder, replace Trump's Diet Coke button with regular Coke. USA, USA. I mean, that's a more legitimate, realistic first day answer, honestly. What are you going to do on your first day? What do you think these guys are going to do on their first day? What could they possibly do?
I would have the hangover of a century. Are you kidding me? Like, what are you gonna do your first day? I don't know. Sleep, order some pho. I mean, you know, like...
All right, next one for you, Matt.
T King, disagree about building housing. We need regulation. Wait, I'm not sure. I don't know if I said anything about that. Did I?
This was about the conversation about Kamala Harris's $25,000 down payment subsidy.
Right.
Well, I think it's more directed towards David Dole, because David was saying that we need to build more houses. But I think, like, just saying that in and of itself, like, I agree, we do need to do and build more houses. But like, if you look at the Canadian model, we had a housing crisis a long time ago, and in the 70s they started implementing socialized housing programs, cooperative housing, and that is actually what dramatically reduced it. Those kind of programs need to be brought in, because there's not going to always have to be a financial incentive to make you think or decide to do something that is going to benefit society, right? Like, there's probably not a financial incentive to feed children, just like these feeding programs, right? It's going to cost you money to do that. You're not going to profit from it in the same way you could say like real estate sales, but there's a net good to society to do those kind of things. Same thing with like building affordable housing.
Yeah, having a public option for housing, like framing it as a public option, is, I think, a good way to market it, because it sounds less scary and less socialistic. But I mean, we're not really there yet, even with the Democratic Party, and the left isn't really pushing for this. But I think public housing would be very, very good, to put it mildly.
I was thinking the other day, you know how y'all spent, what was it, $211 million on this kind of like platform to be able to deliver food aid that then sunk, but then came back, and then was used for a war crime, but then sunk again. That was around to the tune of like $200 million, I think, the cost of the U.S. taxpayers. If you spent that on prefab homes for homeless people, you could build thousands. So how about instead of doing those kind of wild things where you're just like, let's build again this little port to commit war crimes with, you can spend that on housing instead. How about shave off $200 billion from the military budget? There you go, right? Like, that's something like I think at 500 billion you'd be at China level. So even if you are at 700 billion, you're still mighty, still number one, USA. But then you could build thousands of homes. Could do that.
Yeah, that's treason. We can't do that. Won't even entertain it.
That's communism.
That's communism.
Yeah.
We're very healthy country.
Kids.
Yeah, of course. Calm like a bomb. $2. More dog segments. Well, thank you. Hey, maybe I'll try to shoehorn Poopy into segments.
I got Chico sleeping behind me. There he is. Look at that cute little.
He's such a sweetheart.
Croissant. A little egg.
Oh, he's so sweet. So let me see here. This is for you, Matt, or David Dole?
That one's already been read.
Oh, okay. So this was David Dole. Okay, I wasn't sure. It looked familiar.
My transgressions.
Okay. So the next one here is going to be for Matt.
Tunbosin with a $10 super chat. $10. Thank you, Tunbosin. Good news, everyone. New York City's iconic Flatiron building is converting its office space to residential use. 60 of them at best. Bad news, everyone. All of it is luxury condos. I was late. I think the Flatiron building is an awesome, beautiful building. But, I mean, I didn't know this about... I mean, it's good they're converting it to housing, but, I mean... It's in Manhattan. What did we expect? I mean, unless they're being forced to put units aside for affordable housing. But even that, I don't know if you've seen the affordable housing prices for some of the more recent units that have gone up. And you got to win a lotto just to like affordable housing here. There was a new building that I was looking at, that not looking to move into, but I just saw it and I was like, oh, I wonder what the affordable housing prices were. And it was like something like $2,800 a month is affordable housing.
Ooh.
Yeah, and you got to win a lottery.
That's the same as rent in Vancouver. A 2-bedroom is like $4,500 now.
I mean, that's rent. Yeah, and that's after you. If you're lucky enough to win the lottery, you could like the housing lottery. You could pay that price.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, affordable housing used to actually be significantly different pricing.
But so $2,800 a month in mortgage payments is what you're saying? That's
no, not mortgage, just the rent. No, I'm talking.
Oh, just the rent. Oh, you're not talking about ownership.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, 2,800 mortgage wouldn't be bad at all. No, that's not what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
For mortgage in New York City, I can't imagine paying 2,800. I mean, I would sell everything I own if someone was like, "Oh, $2,800 mortgage in New York City." I'm like, what?
I remember 5 years ago when I lived in Flatbush for a little while. I remember thinking that like some of the prices of the places there seemed kind of reasonable, but then you get into actual like the core of the city, and everything is outrageous and expensive.
Wait, hold on. Ton Boson just said the building was auctioned for $190 million. That actually seems really low for the Flatiron building. This sounds like there must have been some sort of insidery bullshit. No, the Flatiron building is like a New York City icon. Like I can't imagine like the Empire State Building. I mean, it's not the Empire State Building, but I can't imagine something like the Empire State Building selling for like $190 million.
Yeah. Can I read 2 super chats while you're waiting for Mike to switch to the other thing?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Looney Tunes 9000, thank you for the $4.99. Today's the anniversary of Hurricanes Katrina and Ida. Katrina was total hell 19 years ago, but Ida came and it was hell without power for 4 weeks. That's brutal. That sucks.
Wow.
Yeah. And A85 Ramos, thank you for the $5. I totally understand the whole vote for who would be better, except I literally can't vote. I'm just observing where I feel like Dems are going. Hey, same with me. I cannot vote in the U.S. election.
All right, the next two are for you as well, Matt.
Reg X with a $10 super chat. $10. We're not going to see any action on Gaza until Biden is out of office. That ossified skeleton is determined to burn the entire idea of Palestine down. Yeah, I mean, anything we do see will be after Biden's out of office.
Yeah,
and if we do see anything, yes. Listen, I don't know what to expect from her. I'm hoping for the best. I mean, I'm hoping her daughter has some sway. I mean, her daughter has been very outspokenly pro-Palestine. I mean, I don't think she's going to listen to her daughter entirely. Yeah, I don't think she's going to like run policy based on her daughter. But I mean, to just have her daughter there, like reminding her that there's human beings on the other side. You know, I do hope that there's some change. And I mean, here, you know, we can obviously we want a lot more, but we could also scoff here at a little change. But if that a little change means people in Gaza stop dying, I mean, that means the world to the people there.
Yeah, of course. Next one for you. Or no, I'm sorry. This one is for me. I skipped one. I skipped one from Celeste. And it's not coming up. I don't know why I'm not finding the Celeste one on StreamYard, but Celeste sent me a super chat.
Oh, I see one from Celeste too.
Yeah, there's two from Celeste, but only one of them is showing up in StreamYard. But Celeste sent me a $2 super chat. Thank you, Celeste. Saying Kamala is not going to win. It's time to accept it. I don't agree with that. I think she absolutely could win. So I would say I disagree with that. I don't know if she's going to win, but I would say saying that she's definitely not going to win is not something that I agree with. Okay, now this one is for me from Chris Corcoran, $5. Thank you, Chris. I heard on Twitter that Pelosi wants an arms embargo. Also not entirely surprised since she's still Biden's VP right now, but we need to keep pushing her. Yeah, I agree. We should definitely keep pushing her.
If Pelosi wants something like that, then we might get it, actually. I mean,
well, I think that I think that Chris is referring to the letter that she had signed on to where it called for an arms embargo. But after,
that's not the same.
If you remember from a couple of months ago, she walked it back and was kind of like dodgy when she was asked about it on Morning Joe. So I don't know if that's actually true. If she wants one, then she hasn't been pushing enough for one. She could be more vocal. But if she did want one,
Rashida Tlaib just called her out. Rashida Tlaib tweeted to someone saying, "To be clear, this is Kamala Harris saying she will disregard U.S. and international law by sending weapons to a government committing human rights violations." And then Rashida Tlaib said, "That's right. War crimes and genocide will continue."
Wow, good for her though.
Because
she needs to put the pressure on. I wish that everyone else would start doing this in government too. Put the pressure on her. Let her know that you're not satisfied. Like,
it's
that
not
doesn't
acceptable.
mean that you're
stop accepting the trolley problem where Palestinians get wiped off the earth in both choices. Just stop accepting that as a acceptable, it's just US politics. Like, okay, well then let's demand better, globally.
Yeah.
Like, everyone. Let's try and get a better world then.
Hold her fucking feet to the fire. You don't have to wait for her to get elected. Do it right now. Do it after she's elected. Just never stop holding her feet to the fire. Good on Rashida Tlaib. Thank you, Samantha EQ, for becoming a member. I appreciate that. Also, thank you to Bay Photo for being a member for 3 months, not showing up on StreamYard for some reason. Okay, here's the Celeste one that did show up for you, Matt.
Did you see Ariel, the Little Mermaid at Disney? Asks Celeste, and yes, I did. We did one of those the character lunches or something, where you go to a restaurant and the characters come to your table. Remember, I have 2 small children, 9 and 5, so that was for them. But yeah, they met the Little Mermaid. They weren't too excited about that one. Not that they didn't like it, but there's characters they like a lot better.
I had a friend who dated someone who played Prince Charming at Disneyland, and he said that the working conditions are so rough. Like, you're not allowed to break character for any reason. It's considered destroying the the brand if you do so. So you're not even supposed to cough and stuff or sneeze. Like, that's considered destroying the magic.
They are the people who work there are dedicated. Like, you can't do that job and not be dedicated, because you have to become the character. And even the people who don't play characters, they have to always act like they're having a wonderful day and be so positive. Like, you just ask some random person something who works there, and they gotta be Disneyfied and give in their answer. They can't be they can't be all grumpy, and it's a crazy thing. But they need to pay those workers the world, because those workers are what makes Disney different than the other theme parks out there.
Mm-hmm. They're basically actors. Like, what they're doing is crazy. How dedicated they are. It's been a while. I haven't been to Disneyland in a while, but yeah, they're amazing.
I have heard that Disney World is having trouble because it's Florida, hiring actors there, because I'm assuming that if you're a young person who's pursuing an acting career, you're not moving to Orlando, Florida.
Right.
Disneyland does not have that same problem. Apparently Disneyland, that's why in Disneyland you could find a lot of roaming characters. Like, they have the characters just walking down the street, you could meet them. Like, you don't need to go to a specific area at a specific time to line up for a meet and greet. You could just get lucky and meet a character. At Disney World, there's not many roaming characters, because apparently they're short staffed. They just can't. There are a few, but apparently Disneyland is all over the place.
Oh wow, there were a lot when I went. The last time I went was 2007, I think. They were everywhere. They're in the regular park. They were in the California Adventure section as well. I think it was Woody and Jesse.
There is definitely a lot less characters at Disney World. Like, if you look at Disney videos online, people sharing their experience, there's all sorts of different characters from all the different movies you can meet at Disneyland. But at Disney World, it's pretty much Mickey and the main crew and the princesses. They don't pull out the rare fan favorite niche characters from specific movies for Disney World.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's kind of sad.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's Florida. What can you do?
True. There are worse things happening in Florida.
If Disney wants to fix that issue, they need to pump out a lot more movies with old people characters like the old man in Up, because then they'll have an abundance of actors in Orlando, Florida, who they can hire for those roles.
You can go to Old Land.
that Up character, I hate to say it, is probably a Trump supporter, guys. Just FYI.
It's true. It's
like
true.
the staff shortage there is actually a really big deal to the characters. Like apparently, like we didn't go to the water parks there. We don't do the water parks at Disney, but apparently because of they're short staffed or they're being cheap or whatever, they don't want to hire extra staff or whatever. They have 2 water parks, Typhoon Lagoon and Blizzard Beach. They only open one at a time now. Like both used to be open, and you could have a Disney vacation and go one day and another day. Now each one has a season. Like Typhoon Lagoon will be open like January through June, and then Blizzard Beach is open July through December. Like they're like running not at full speed here.
Full capacity. I just got a super chat. Jay Cass with $5, 12-hour shifts, 6 days for 4 weeks straight. Finally, 4-day weekend. Missed you guys, and my sciatica sucks. Highly do not recommend. What is sciatica again? Is that I can't? But I'm glad you finally have time off to enjoy yourself.
Yeah, that's absolutely brutal, JCass. Damn. Okay, so the next one here is from George. We have quite a bit, by the way.
Back pain.
So
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll let you guys breeze through it. I gotta take Chico back out anyway.
Okay. Well, take care, Lance. See you next week.
Peace,
I love you. Bye, friends.
God bless. Yeah, we got quite a bit still, Matt. So we might want to. Rush.
George Errett with a super chat. My biggest hope for a potential Harris administration is that Tim Walz will be able to influence her in the right direction, and I'm actually optimistic. Listen, I think on domestic issues, he will. I really don't get. I really don't know what his foreign policy positions are. Like I haven't really seen him. Really, maybe I missed it. Again, I've been away for about a week and a half, sort of detached from, the minutia of what's going on for the past 2 weeks, I would say.
We just have indications, really.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean,
on China, he's
very
very clearly not like wanting to be antagonistic towards China. He said that explicitly, which is a good sign. And Republicans are calling him a Maoist because of it, because he taught in China, and they think that's bad, but it's good. Like he sees them as human beings. I think that he also, I could be mistaken about this. I believe he was in support of the Iran deal as a member of Congress. He was very much against intervention in Syria when Obama was experiencing pressure. So it seems like he leans anti-war based on his congressional record, but we don't know much with regard to recent events.
Right.
But yeah, I'm optimistic because of that too, George, for sure. And here's the Bay photo one. It came up for me. I didn't see it earlier, but member for 3 months. Thank you so much. This one is from me from Rick Robin Cagnan with 99 currency. Mary L. Trump versus Roger Stone. I'm going to say, is this preference or like who could win in a boxing match? Because if it comes down to preference, I'd say Mary Trump. Boxing match, I'd say Mary Trump also.
So it doesn't matter, actually. Why are you asking the question?
Yeah, Mary Trump seems fine. I won't lie. She kind of irritates me. She kind of gives me
She's like vibes. A resistance type. Yeah, I mean, which is a
She was one of the people freaking out because John Oliver said that Joe Biden was old. It's like, shut the fuck up. Like, stop.
I mean,
she's kind of a Biden dead ender.
He's old. He's old.
Yeah.
That's not even... I mean, Bernie Sanders is old, and I like Bernie. That's not the same thing as saying whatever she thought he was saying. I don't know.
Yeah. So I don't like her personally. She's using her name and her proximity to Trump to cash in. I mean, more power to you. At least you're shitting on him. But I just feel like, I don't know. Don't be insufferable. I'm just sick of like families of politicians, I guess. Kennedys, Trumps. Okay, you got 5 gifteds from HK.
Whoa, HK, thank you for the memberships, gifted memberships.
Next one for you.
A85 Ramos with a super chat. Isn't the New York Times bestsellers list literally a dumb scam, kind of like how you have to pay for world records to be recognized? I don't know about that, but I do know that you can buy your way on it. It's not like New York Times is taking your money. It's just like you can buy the books directly from the distributor as literally the author of the book, or or a company that they work for or whatever, and you get on the bestseller list. Like they really should count only strictly retail book sales, but they just count book sales overall.
Yeah, that's seems rigged. On that subject, $4.99 from Bay Photo. Thank you, Bay. If a book on the New York Times bestseller list has a dagger that indicates bulk purchasing. I do not know about this, so thank you, Bay Photo. Every right-wing book has it. Melania's book will be no different. Okay, I'm going to look for that because I actually didn't know about this. The fact that they indicate that is really interesting. So now, be on the
I like how they use
folks.
a dagger.
Dagger. Yeah, dagger, right? This one's for you.
Marla Surratt with a super chat. The right went crazy anytime Barron was mentioned when he was under 18. Also, why should it matter if he's neurodivergent or not? To be okay to trash him. Yeah, I agree.
You should never trash a kid, period.
I actually didn't know anything. I didn't know he was neurodivergent or anything. I saw that video and I thought it was, he seemed like a down to earth teenage kid who was excited to see his dad up there, and it sounded like he was being he was saying it to his sister, right? So I thought he was being like silly with his sister in like his mannerism and everything, but like serious at the same time, obviously. You know how you can be serious but have like sort of like a laid back personality with your siblings while still putting out a serious tone. That's what it came off like to me. But the idea you would attack the kid for being excited about his dad, it's ridiculous. It's really just. I know the joke is like, oh, conservatives were confused by someone who a kid having a good relationship with their father. But like that's really what it comes down to. That's typical behavior for a family that loves each other, honestly. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one is from Chris Corcoran. $5. Thank you, Chris. What gives me some optimism is that some in Harris's family, like Ella and Mina, are pro-Palestine. Hopefully they can talk to her. Yeah, I think it's a good sign, right? I would imagine that they already are trying to have that conversation with her. So that, along with Tim Walz, gives me a little bit of hope. At least, like, to the extent that you can be hopeful, there's at least maybe some hope. Maybe it's cope. But, like, there's nothing there with Biden. At least we can grasp at something when it comes to Kamala Harris, even if it's not likely. So, yeah. Andrew S. with $5. Thank you, Andrew. Speaking of wage increase, data came out that California's $20 for fast food workers encouraged record high employment. No kidding. I mean, that's great news. It's not surprising, though, because, if you pay people a livable wage, then, of course, they're going to want to work for your company. I feel like I
like to be paid as little as possible.
Yeah.
That draws me to the jobs.
Yeah, remember during 2021-ish, like during the pandemic, there was all this talk of, oh, nobody wants to work. Kim Kardashian was saying it. It's like, well, it's because nobody wants to get paid dog shit wages during a fucking pandemic with Republicans coughing in their faces. Like, I'm sorry, who would want to do that? Of course they don't want to work. And it's not that they don't want to work. It's that they don't want to work for shit wages. Pay them well and they will want to work. I mean, if McDonald's paid like $500,000 a year, as shitty as a job is, people would love to work because you can live, you can spend money, you can go on vacations, you can buy a home. So it's not like that people don't want to work. It's that they don't want to work for dog shit wages.
I don't want to work. I just want to bang on it. Do you remember that song?
All right, this one for you.
Looney Tunes 9000 with a super chat. You were totally missed. Come back on the anniversaries of Hurricanes Katrina and Ida. Ooh. We're still recovering after these 2 hurricanes. Thank you. And yeah, that's I mean, I guess I could bring you news of the Tiana Bayou Adventure ride from Disney. I got to ride.
How was
it.
Oh, Splash Mountain, right? They just redid Splash.
It's Splash Mountain. It's the same exact ride, just with a whole different theme, with whole different animatronics and whole different characters. You had the usual people complaining, but listen, did I like the old Splash Mountain characters? Of course, they were great characters. Is this ride great too in its own way? Yes, it's great in its own way. I honestly can't imagine them retheming it with any other property because, like, the Splash Mountain characters, they had like that Southern charm to them because, again, it was based on the cartoon characters from Song of the South, not the racist live action part of Song of the South. And those are likable characters. The Tiana characters, they have the same sort of Southern charm to them because it's a story based in Louisiana. I thought it was fun. The only thing I didn't like was that, like, when you would go up to the ramp to go down the big splash in the old Splash Mountain, the whole like theme, the whole mood was like those vultures up top going like, oh, you're gonna die now. Like, it was very like scary and negative. But this is like, come on, let's go to Tiana's big party now. Like, it was like a positive thing to go up the thing, but so like it's not as like fun, I guess, in that way as an adult. But it was definitely more kid friendly, and the whole ride is nice. It's a good ride.
Yeah, Splash Mountain is fun.
The new Country Bear Jamboree is good. If anyone heard about that.
Oh, okay.
They changed the songs that they sang for the first time in like 50 years or something like that.
I saw that when I went. I don't remember. I was bored.
It's a great show.
Yeah, I'm sure it's fine. But so much to do, you know. Okay. JCass, $5. Thank you so much, JCass. Mike, did you trim your beard or am I tripping because of your black shirt? How dare you? I did. I trimmed it just a little bit though. Not too much. That's good attention to detail because it wasn't like super long. I trimmed it quite a bit a couple of months ago. I'm trying to keep it more closer to chin length and not super big. My winter coat will begin to grow out soon here and it'll be like very bushy. But yeah, I trimmed it a little bit. No message for you?
Oh, I don't even see that one. I don't think it's for me.
Oh, okay. Might be for David Dole then. Okay, and this one I'm assuming is for you.
Is it? Let's see. It is Daniel Castle with a super chat. On the fart selling, didn't Tessa Blanchard sell audio of her pooping? Did she? That's a wrestler for people who don't know. She never made it to the big leagues because she was an indie wrestler. She's the daughter of the famous wrestler Tully Blanchard, who was one of the members of the famous Four Horsemen group with Ric Flair. She was coming up big as a big star on the indies. People thought she'd get signed, and then during the pandemic, there were accusations from other women wrestlers of her being a racist bully and calling people racial slurs backstage and stuff. And that was pretty much the end of her wrestling career. I mean, she still wrestles, but that was the end of her becoming her trajectory upwards to become a big star. So maybe she did sell that because she might need the money. I don't know.
If somebody buys audio of her shitting, you are you have something wrong with you. Like, what the fuck? This one's for you too.
I don't see that one. Where is that?
I'm just going one after another. So this might be for David Dole. So we'll just we'll read it anyway. $2. 93 senators who support CCP level censorship. Kamala.
what a username! What a username!
The Alito
just rolls off the tongue.
Image sells it. Yeah. Kamala has appointed a vocal anti-Israel critic. Has she? I don't know. I haven't seen that. CMG Web with $2. Still trying to launch Pendejo 1 NFT POTUS. I think this one is for you.
No.
No. Okay, I'll keep reading them. Just stop me once we get to yours, okay? Because we have a few. They might be for David.
When you see J Cast, that's mine.
Okay, that's next. Okay, so Elise Bach with $2. Thank you, Elise. Iran willing to re-sign 2015 deal. Yeah, they've been willing since 2020 when Biden took office. He just never pursued it, which is a damn shame because that was one of Obama's best achievements.
Yeah.
All right, and here we go.
J Cass. Did you guys see the Crow remake? Bombed worse than Borderlands. Hollywood running out of ideas. Only interesting remake would be Pixar's Two Girls, One Cup. I didn't see the Crow remake. The Crow remaking the Crow seems like just a bad idea. Being that like the whole, I don't want to use the word aura, but the idea that Bruce Lee's son, Brandon, right? That's his name. Was killed during the making of the movie. I mean, that's added to like the sort of meaningfulness of that movie. So to remake it, like, the Crow, let's put it this way, the Crow isn't remembered as well as it is if that didn't happen, honestly. Let's be honest. It's a good movie, but I mean, unfortunately, the same thing with like the Twilight Zone movie. The Twilight Zone is my favorite TV series of all time. It is, to me, the greatest television show ever made. But the movie, is kind of forgettable until you had the incident where Vic Morris, the actor, and the two kids that were acting with him got beheaded for real because of the accident on the set. And that's why people remember that movie. It's not because it was a good movie.
Damn. That's dark. This one for you?
The critical plug, is this for me? I think it is.
I think so.
Hold on, I can't see. Let me check. Oh, I'm sorry. By the way, the actor's name is Vic Morrow, not Morris. My bad.
Okay.
Yep, the critical plug. I was wondering what new political based have you guys been listening to lately? I would love to suggest The Chisel and even the new Vampire Weekend. Oh, political based music, maybe you mean? I don't know. I can't think right now.
Yeah, I haven't really been listening to political based music.
Yeah.
The last one that I listened to was Macklemore. But haven't really been listening to anything like that. Let me see here. Dave is the next one for me with $5. Thank you, Dave. Kamala offers a centrist Republican congressperson a cabinet seat to help flip the House. Thoughts?
I mean, she's just
yeah. I feel like she's kind of she was asked, and yeah, I don't know if she's gonna fall through. I hope she doesn't. So we got two members, one from me.
She should actually offer a number of Republican senators cabinet seats in states where there is a Democratic governor, so they could appoint their replacement. Just give. That's the one thing I'll approve. Offer a bunch of sitting Republican senators in states where there's a Democratic governor. Cabinet seats, and then just have the governors replace them.
That's very Machiavellian, but brilliant. Okay, so Chris is a member for me. Thank you, Chris. And Obsessive Audio is a member
Obsessive
for
Audio,
you.
thank you so much. Yeah. And then over on Twitch, I got just a few. Let me see. Where is this? Dynamic Jab 13 gave out 1 community gift sub. Thank you so much. And that's it over on Twitch.
I have 3 more.
Oh, you got 3 more. Oh shit!
I got a couple more. Yes.
Trying to big time you. Sorry about that.
How dare you? No. So Omega Shenron Dragon with $5. Thank you. Finished dress Rosa yet, Mike? Almost. I'm right at the ending. Super close. Anyway, Matt believes in Joe Hendry. Do y'all also have you seen the video of a Gaston in Disneyland kicking someone out? I've not seen that.
To both. The Joe Hendry reference is a wrestler who's going viral. He's gonna be a big star. He's becoming a big star. His theme song is "I Believe in Joe Hendry." It's become a thing.
Okay.
And I've seen that video. A woman goes up to Gaston and is like fondling him, and he gets pissed and sort of breaks character while still being the character, and basically kicks her out, tells her to leave, that she can't take a picture with him.
Wow.
The woman was basically like sexually harassing this actor who was playing.
Why do
Gaston.
people do shit like that? What is wrong with people?
I feel it's when I go with my kids to meet the characters, I play along, but also in I'm like, oh hey Goofy, how you doing? How's everything going today? And I take the picture and that's it.
You're not like fanboying out like, oh my god, I love you, Goofy. I'm your biggest fucking fan.
Like even my favorite characters, I'll go up. I'll be like, I'm a big fan of Figment, the imaginary dragon in Epcot, and I have a Figment meet and greet now, and we did that with the kids. And I'm like, Figment, like, how you doing, man? One of my faves. So, like just like that. I wasn't like, having some of these people have full blown conversations with these characters as if they're actually talking to the character and not like the random guy who's in the costume that day.
Bro, they're making minimum wage. What are you doing? That's weird to me.
Yeah. So like for you to go up and like do something to the characters as an adult is like, what are you doing? Just let them have fun, have a good time with it. Go up there, get your picture, but
be normal, people, please. Let's try to keep it together.
Be normal.
We're adults. Let's not assault the fucking actors. Okay,
I will say one of my favorite. I hate to go on, but one of my favorite memories of Disney were a couple. When I went probably 10 years ago, I was wearing my Crass shirt, and one of the mice from the mice from Cinderella was there. And we were just doing the pictures with all the characters, and the mouse pointed at my shirt and was like, they can't talk in the costume, but they were making it quite clear that the person in the costume was a fan of the band I was wearing, the shirt I was wearing, Crass. And I thought it was funny, like, oh, the mouse from one of the mice from Cinderella who knits her dress is also a fan of Crass. I love it.
That's cute. Okay. So Kowalski with $5. Thank you, Kowalski. Mike, be careful doing an RFK Jr. impression. Matt will hardcore critique your performance. Also, your dog is perfect. Thank you so much, Kowalski. I appreciate you saying that. He is definitely perfect. So we have a follow-up from 93 senators who support CCP-level censorship. Thank you. Yes to her campaign staff, so it's on the down low. Okay, so it's kind of like a lower-level person. Okay, because I feel like if it was a higher-level person, then it would have been brought up by like someone. Rishi Torres would be tweeting about it or something. But yeah, that's good. That's good for sure. And then last one. This is for you, I believe, Matt.
Narrator of the Super Chat. Hey, narrator. How you doing? Based political music. Check out Jonathan Mann. They'll get over it. Don't play on stream. Got it. I'll have to check it out. Okay.
Nice. Well, with that being said, do we want to raid Cosmopolitics on Twitch?
Nah, let's no, I'm joking. Let's do it. Yeah. I like how you said it. Like, shall we raid? Like all right, let's
say hey now.
Hey now. It's great to be back, everyone. I missed you all.
It felt weird without you on the show. Oh, we got one more real quick.
Oh, I see it now. Hold on.
It's for Kowalski.
Oh no, JCast the super chat. Did you guys see Mexico banned importing U.S. GMO corn? Thoughts, Kowalski? Oh boy, I don't know if Kowalski will be able to answer in time.
And we also have one
got
more.
Another one in too.
Yeah, before it rains.
Tokyo Hans. When I was 8, went to Disneyland and got a pic with Mickey while I was wearing a Speedy Gonzalez shirt.
That's great. All right, friends.
Oh, wait, did you press rate yet? I didn't. Hold on. Oh, hold on.
I didn't press it just yet. It's queued up and ready. I just have to click it.
Got it.
It'll do it automatically, I think, after like a minute.
All right, everyone. We will see you next week. And I'm going to hit this raid button right now.
All right. Take care, friends.